some pretty heavy speeds. I believe they're hitting around 170 miles an hour here in Phoenix here tonight.
Very close to it, if not right around there. They're running, or at least in qualifying, they're running low 27-second lap times. We'll have to take an eye out on the speeds here once they get rolling again, which they are going to do here in just a few seconds. We will have a legal green-white checkered finish. This is not going to overtime, and it will be Joey Arsenal still on the inside of row number 1. Andrew Rogers and Taylor Layton still hold those transfer spots. Now we go back green.
And Arsenal gets a really good jump there as he had the hammer, but look at the 14. But Joey dips down and cuts that line down, but he's got a couple of car lengths on Andrew Rogers. But look at that, too wide there in the back for the transfer position. Taylor Layton has an armful of Mark Williams in the 42. And it's going to get tight here as now Andrew Rogers will have get a little busy here as the 3 and 4 start coming up and putting a lot of pressure on Rogers right now.
A great outside move by Mark Williams moves him around Taylor Layton for position number 3. He's trying to use that lane to get around Andrew Rogers. They've been able to separate. Oh, they're both into the outside wall, and Mark Williams slams the inside driver's side first. A huge, unfortunate break. He was inside a transfer spot, and we got another crash. 1 car, 2 cars upside.
They are going to continue on green flag. They are not going to throw the caution. White Silk is out, and Joey Arsenault is out front. He's going to take the win here. The battle. And Kyle, that was pretty exciting. No caution there as the White Silk did come out for the 3-car of Joey Arsenault. And your top 3 going to the main show. Look at that, George White. Out of nowhere, this 71, but what a toss up there as Mark Williams was putting on a show there, but unfortunately had the big wreck, and that transfer precious spot is going to go to George White.
Yeah, that is absolutely huge for Mark Williams. Not only will he miss out on the feature through the heat race, he was not able to finish that last lap, so he will finish dead last in this first heat race. That is going to set him up pretty bad for his last chance qualifier. He's going to have a lot of work cut out for him in order to make it through to tonight's Tranquility Online 100. Along with George White, we had Andrew Rogers finishing in second and Joey Arsenault hanging on to win that first heat race. Those 3 drivers will go to the feature event, and then joining Mark Williams in an LCQ will be Brett McFarlane, Craig Kenny, Colin Matthews, Jason Gallant, Jarrett Butcher, and Taylor Layton. Heat 2 starting their pace lap right now.
Yeah, and on the front grid there, Sean Pierce getting the pole in the 21. He's got Mark D'Entremont in the 77, one of the sponsors here tonight in the Tranquility 100. On the inside, row number 2, the 27, 6-time champion from Newfoundland, Corey Reed in the 27 car. On his outside, the 88, Caden Tufts in the 4th position.
Running out the top 5 will be the number 2 car of Todd Cousins. Then Cadence Frizzle will be in position number 6. And through the rest of the field, we have Kevin Nobley in 7th, Craig Tully in 8th, and Danny Chisholm will round out the field starting in position number 9. Green flag flies, and Sean Pierce is off to a great start. He's able to clear Mark D'Entremont for the race lead. Top 2 are single file, and then we're side by side for position number 3. That's the 88 of Caden Tufts to the outside, the 27 of Corey Reed down on the bottom. It will be Tufts to get the advantage off the top side. He will take 3rd and now challenges Mark D'Entremont for 2nd, entering 3.
Yeah, a couple of different lines here we're seeing. Corey Reed look to the inside, but we got another car going around. I believe that's Frizzell on the back side. I'm not quite sure, but we had a car around. We're still green flag, but huge battle right now for that 3rd position as Caden Tufts on the outside with Corey Reed on the inside.
Car in trouble was the 053 of Kevin Nobley. Everybody continuing to stay clean and green. No caution flag for that. That battle there for position 3 has calmed down for now. You can see the different lines working. Caden Tufts running down on the bottom. The 27 of Corey Reed running a more outside line through 3 and 4. Tufts has the spot by about 2 car lengths, and Todd Cousins not too far back from Corey Reed. He's now closes up right up to the back bumper just about as they go through the middle of 1 and 2, but coming off of 2, Reed will space that gap back out by about a car length.
Yeah, huge battle back there with Todd Cousins, Corey Reed, and Tufts for that transfer position. But Sean Pearson, the Woods Brothers 21 car, he is out for a Saturday night cruise, as if he's got 5 laps to go here. Hopefully he can make it to the main lap. Also part of the Maritime Pro Stock Tour. Sean Pierce putting on a bit of a show here tonight on the front, getting lots of clean air followed by Mark D'Entremont in the 77.
That battle for position 4 spiked up for just a minute there. Todd Cousins tried to get underneath of the 27 of Corey Reed in the center of 1 and 2, but he pushed tight, dropped back, and lost a lot of momentum on that 27 car. Now he is trying to run him back down, and the 27 Reed trying his best to reel in the 88 of Caden Tufts. The cross flags are in the air. 4 laps are in. 4 laps are left to go. Sean Pierce continues to lead. Mark D'Entremont is second. Caden Tufts hanging on to that third and final transfer spot. A bit of a sideways mistake there for Corey Reed. That will allow Todd Cousins to close back up to the back bumper, and he looks to the inside in the center of 3 and 4.
Yeah, Cousins looks to the inside. He's going to dip down to the bottom here at the 27, trying to protect that line. He does manage to get in front of Todd Cousins in the 2, but he's got a lot of room to catch up now to Caden Tufts in that transfer spot. Maybe right here, Todd Cousins and Reed come together and actually assist each other with a little bit of draft here, as draft will play a factor here at Phoenix here tonight with 3 laps to go. They don't have a lot of room left to go, but about 4 car lengths between Corey Reed and Caden Tufts right now for that transfer position.
Yeah, Caden is absolutely loving watching these two battle behind him. Gives him an opportunity to kind of space himself out from these guys and give him a cushion as we work through here. Lap number 7. 2 laps are left to go. The top 3 remain the same. We continue to watch this battle for position number 4, as it is the best battle on the racetrack. Todd Cousins looking to the inside. Now he's going to try to give the bumper to the 27 car. He did make contact, but wasn't really able to take much advantage of it. He kind of followed the 27 in the upper groove. The white flag is going to fly right now one more time. I don't think these guys are going to have anything for Caden here, Mike.
Yeah, I don't know. If I was Cousins right now, I would be glued to the back of the 27 right now and try to close that gap right now on Caden Tufts. But they've been battling the last couple of laps, and they've lost a bit of momentum against the 88 of Tufts. But it looks like that gap will slightly come together, but it's going to be a lot of time not left as they are on white silk. And Sean Pierce going to bring it around for the winner here, as he is going to be in the big show, the 21, followed by Mark D'Entremont in the 77. And it looks like Caden Tufts is going to be your third and final qualifier for the main show.
The rest of the finishing order, Corey Reed hangs on for 4th, Todd Cousins 5th, Cadence Frizzell will finish in position number 6, then Danny Chisholm in 7th, Craig Tully in 8th, and Kevin Nobley rounds out the field. He was 4 laps down after his lap 1 troubles. Heat number 3 will take the grid. This will be our final heat race. We do not have enough cars to go for 4, so this will be our third and final heat race. We will then transfer over to our 2 last chance qualifiers, where we will run 10 laps and take 1 car to the main.
A big name on the front row from North Carolina, Brett Suggs in the 33. He's going to have Brandon Lively on the outside of row number 1 in the 70 car.
Barrett Bonner in car number 4 will be your third place starter, and to his outside in the number 130 will be Stephen Lively.
And in row number 3, that is Nathan Langile. He's going to have Campbell Delaney in the 9 car on the outside.
Michael Neary will be your 7th place starter on the inside of row number 4. He transferred through one of the last chance races to make this main show. And Daniel Veach will be the 8th place starter in car number 20.
And completing the field, Byron Bartlett. And just to give you an update on Daniel Veach, it's like Vitch. The 29.
Good to know.
Daniel Veach. You'll never forget that one now.
Oh, absolutely not.
Brett Suggs going to get things going here. He will have the shotgun here. Pace truck is gone. Suggs got the hammer, and he's going to get it going. No hesitation. The 33 out front, and Lively trying to tuck in there, protect that second place. But it looks like Barrett Bonner is going to have the advantage on the bottom here as he's trying to get the a little bit of an edge right now on Lively, and he's going to take that spot, but just barely. And Lively is going to tuck in for that third spot.
Lively bounced off the wall coming off at turn number 2. He wasn't alone. The 9 car of Campbell Delaney also taking a piece of the outside safer barrier. And Delaney's into the outside wall again coming off at turn number 4. Nearly makes contact with the 26 car of Nathan Langile, but they're able to stay off of each other. And now Delaney will sacrifice that spot to the 26 car and drop back to position number 6. Everybody single file as they work through the backstretch here for the second time on heat race number 3. Things starting to calm down in the front of the field throughout the entirety of the field. Now the 26, great run. Oh, he makes contact with the 30 and around he goes. The 30 machine piles in the outside wall with the 26. The 26 goes upside down, and Nathan Lively also or Michael Neary, excuse me. I don't know where I pulled that one from. Michael Neary in the 23 car also involved. Caution flag flies.
That's very unfortunate for Lively Lanjo. We're going to get a replay from Paul here as a caution has been pulled here on lap number 3.
Yeah, just running through the tapes here real quick, trying to find out exactly what went down with these drivers. Taking a look at the Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay. And looks like we got it here. We'll give it to you in a slow motion replay. And you can see here the 30 and the 26 were kind of lined up nose to tail just a bit. Had 3-4 car lengths, maybe, 3-4 car lengths, and definitely closing down at that point. 26 really moving in on the back bumper of that number 30 car. But they're heading on down into turn number 3. Let's see exactly what happens here in the corner. One of the slowest slow motion replays ever. We'll get to the action here eventually. Possibly. And here comes the 26. It looks like the 30 got a little bit loose, but he did definitely get a little bit of help there from the 26 car. Sends him on around, gives him another shot there. You see the 9 car shoots up high, gets a little bit more damage there on the inside car. The 23 gets a big hit, T-bones the 26, sends him on his roof, flips it back over, does a little bit of a kickflip there in honor of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 getting remastered, lands it with the rubbers on the ground, and it looks like everybody is able to grab a gear and continue on moving. So they're going to be able to come down to pit road and at least work on the virtual sheet metal, virtual hammers, banging out all the dents and everything like that. And that's the Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay. Just want to give you a quick shout out here for Shed Life. They're a professional full-service shed moving service located in Central Florida, and they serve all of the state of Florida. Shed Life Shed Movers has been exceeding customers' expectations with outstanding customer service for over 12 years. So definitely check them out. They'll be able to take care of all your shed moving needs.
Wonder if they'll send a shed up to Newfoundland.
For the right price, I'm sure.
I saw a video yesterday on social media of a couple guys trying to load a shed onto an open trailer upside down. I really hope they don't use that strategy to try to do that. It didn't work out for those guys in the video.
Do it yourself. Well, it's going to be Brett Suggs once again with the hammer here as he's going here as we are about halfway here. 4 laps to go here. Pace truck still on the field. Brett Suggs, Brandon Lively in the 4 on the outside of row number 1. Brandon Lively on the inside of row number 2 with Campbell Delaney. Delaney was battling there and now has a bit of an advantage on the outside here in row 2. Can he sneak in for that transfer spot for number 3? And we are green flag action with Brett Suggs taking control once again.
Another very good restart for the 33 car. Bit of a wiggle out of the 4 of Barrett Bonner there. Thought the 70 was going to sneak underneath. He wasn't able to. A great run coming off of turn number 2 for the 4. Now Brandon Lively in the 70 has to worry about the 9 car of Campbell Delaney attacking him. That is for the final transfer position. The 9 of Delaney closing in, but look at the 70 stretch that gap open as they come off of turn number 4. The popsicle sticks will fly once again. 2 laps remaining here in our final heat race.
And Daniel Vitch in the 29 now coming up on the inside of Campbell Delaney. Dance here, and look at this, the 7 car of Byron Bartlett wants to play as well. Byron Bartlett coming out of nowhere gets past Daniel Vitch in the 29, and now applying pressure to Delaney because they are running out of time with 2 laps to go. Brett Suggs, Barrett Bonner, and Brandon Lively is in the top 3 for the transfer.
Does not look like anyone's going to challenge for a transfer spot here as they come to the white flag, but the battle for P4 is heating up. The 7 of Byron Bartlett all over the back bumper of Campbell Delaney. That will not be for a transfer, but it does help your starting position in your LCQ. Down into the final turn for the final time. Almost making contact once again. Delaney looks like he's going to be able to hold him off, as it will be Brett Suggs in the 33 car to score the victory here in heat race number 3. Barrett Bonner's number 4 will finish 2nd, and Brandon Lively taking the 3rd and final transfer position. Campbell Delaney holds on for 4th. Byron Bartlett 5th. Stephen Lively will come home in position number 6. And then we have Daniel Vitch in 7th. I just lost the results. And Michael Neary and Nathan Langile will complete the field, and we will see them in an LCQ.
And that's going to bring us to our first last chance qualifier. We're going to see 2 of these, and one of them will only show up in the show. So the winner of each last chance has a chance to make it to the big show. But we are now gridding for our first consignee, and looks like Brett McFarland has not answered a call yet, but he should be on the front row in position number 1. He'll have Campbell Delaney on the outside. And there
Inside of row number 2, we will find the 2 car of Todd Cousins. He looked strong in his heat race. He will have the 65 of Colin Matthews starting 4th on his outside.
And in row number 3, the 130, Stephen Lively. He's going to have the 87 of Danny Chisholm. Chisholm has not answered a call yet, so hopefully he can make it just in time before the pace truck leaves.
Does not look like Danny Chisholm did make the start, so he's going to have to start from pit road if he does join the field for this last chance qualifier. Not at all how he's going to want to start this off. Going to be tough for him to qualify. The inside of row number 4, we'll see the 54 car of Jarrett Butcher, and then Michael Neary in the 23 will start in position number.
Yeah, Michael Neary, Jared Butcher, both in incidents in their heat race qualifiers. Unfortunate for them. Michael Neary earlier on winning the non-qualifier in getting into the event here tonight for the qualifiers. So they are going to start at the back with Kevin Nobley. So not a lot of time. It's here at Phoenix, a lot of speed here. So definitely a disadvantage at the back, but we are still not seeing the 87 of Danny Chisholm, which definitely helps the case for Jared Butcher and Michael Neary and Nobley at the tail.
Green flag flies on this first LCQ, a monstrous start for the 93 of Brett McFarland. He will try to run away and hide. Contact behind him for position 2, and there's a crash. Campbell Delaney goes around with assistance from the 2 of Todd Cousins. I believe we do, yes, have the 30 car of Steven, the 130. Well, it's a 30 on the car. Stephen Lively involved. Todd Cousins is involved as well, and the 053 Kevin Nobley caught up in this incident as well.
And it looks like Delaney showed his disappreciation to that move and came after the caution and hit the 2 car on pit road.
Race officials saw it, and they have disqualified Campbell Delaney from this event. He will be done for the evening. He will be our first driver not to make tonight's Tranquility Online 100. Paul, not the way that these guys wanted to start off this LCQ. What were you able to see from the...
Yeah, taking a look at the Shed Life, Shed Movers instant replay, you can see there's a little bit of contact, a little bit more contact, and a little bit more contact between the 2 and 9 as they were exchanging shots there. You see the 053 and the 130 car get involved as unfortunately the 9 came down in the racing groove, but we can kind of fast forward here a little bit, comes on down, and Delaney gives the 2 car another shot there, so that's why that driver was disqualified from the event. So tough break for those guys. A lot of damage on these race cars, but still probably going to restart with about halfway to go. So we should be able to see some of these cars back on track.
Yeah, it wasn't a big hit, after the case, but it's still a hit. Just because it's a simulator, you just can't be doing that. And it's not going to happen here at the TCM live events. And I stand by the directors for saying, putting their foot down and say that's enough of that, because we've seen it quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, and it's starting to become a message clear to the drivers that, we are treating this like the real deal.
Absolutely true. Great call on the officials to do that. It's unfortunate for Campbell, but to his argument, he did kind of put himself in that own position by making that choice. A bit of a procedural update for these last chance qualifier events. Since we did not have a 4th heat race, these LCQs have changed from winner only to top 2. So we will now be taking the top 2 finishers to tonight's Tranquility Online 100 instead of just the winner, which will give us our 22 car field for that event here later on tonight.
Well, big advantage to Jared Butcher and Michael Neary as they move now into row number 2. Starting at the tail because of the incidents that they had in their heat race qualifiers. So now they are in that position now to strike against Brett McFarland and Colin Matthews, who are on row number 1. I got a funny feeling as we get through this here, we're going to be at cross flags in just a moment as we complete lap 4 on the yellow here, that this is going to be an exciting finish as those 2 spots are up for grabs for the main event.
Indeed, it will be. After that incident is all said and done, we only have 6 cars on the lead lap of the 8 that started. Todd Cousins has not yet caught up to the field. He's doing so now. Looks like he does have pretty significant front-end damage. Not too sure how that's going to affect him moving forward, but it'll be fun to watch him try to charge through this field and get up to the top 2. We've seen throughout previous events how competitive and how fast the 2 machine of Todd Cousins is. So I don't expect to see him sitting around there in the back for too long, but it will definitely be a task as the first half of this LCQ has been evaporated by that first caution. Looks like we will have just 5 laps to go once the green flag flies when they hit the stripe this time by.
Halfways, and that damage does play a factor here in Phoenix. You know, we're not at a short track, bit of a bigger track here in Phoenix, so damage is going to play a factor here in the heats as well as when we get into the main. So drivers are going to try to keep those cars as clean as possible. Also, to the fans at home, there are points that the drivers will be collecting throughout the evening, and if they do reach their maximum, that's a black flag, and they will be rejected from the race. Rejected.
So the pace truck getting ready to jump down onto pit road. Brett McFarland sees him go and smashes the gas pedal. A terrible restart for the 65 of Colin Matthews. It was so checked up on the outside line that Todd Cousins piled into the back of Jarrett Butcher. That's going to allow Michael Neary in the 23 to take over position number 2 and move into that final transfer spot. They are side by side behind him. Jarrett Butcher in the 54 moves his way into P3, and that drops Colin Matthews back to 4th.
Yeah, Jared Butcher's taking full advantage now as he clears the 65 of Colin Matthews, but Michael Neary with a huge advantage being on the inside row. We'll see the start by Brett, but Colin Matthews kind of fell asleep there at the restart and really tangled up with Jared Butcher.
The top 4 cars are starting to kind of close back together. Mike, you mentioned it a little earlier ago about the draft. I wasn't initially thinking that drafting would make too much of a difference here at Phoenix. It is only a 1-mile racetrack, but these are short track cars. They're not usually used to racing on tracks of this size, so maybe the draft actually does have a bit of a factor in this, as now Michael Neary is looking to the inside of Brett McFarland for that race lead. McFarland shuts the door, scoots up the racetrack a little bit in the center of the turn, and that allows Neary to close back in, but here comes Jarrett Butcher. He looks to the bottom side of the racetrack. Neary tries to slam the door. It's open again on the inside of turn number 3, and we're side by side for that final spot. Jarrett Butcher looking to take it from Michael Neary.
Well, Michael Neary is in a war right now with the 54 of Jarrett Butcher. This is for transfer position, and Brett McFarland's going to have to be careful because the 23 and the 54 are coming on strong. Door to door they are going, but the 65 having a peak. Neary tucks in behind the 54. We'll let him take the advantage for now. Just wait for it. We may see a little bump here or a scrub. This is going to get interesting in the final lap. Michael Neary has to play the chess piece properly here and not to throw it too soon.
3 cars fighting for that final spot. Brett McFarland has a bit of a gap between this fight. Should be okay on this final lap as long as he doesn't make a mistake. Now Jarrett Butcher opening up the gap behind him to Michael Neary. Colin Matthews wants to take that 3rd spot, but it's really not going to do anything as we're taking the top 2 into 3 and 4 for the final time. Matthews onto the apron. It doesn't do anything. Brett McFarland's number 93 car will win LCQ number 1, and Jarrett Butcher from the backup machine racing at a friend's house will make the show tonight with a 2nd place finish. Going home for the remainder of the show will be Michael Neary, Colin Matthews, Todd Cousins, Stephen Lively, Kevin Nobley, Campbell Delaney, and we never saw the 87 of Danny Chisholm, so he is done for the night as well.
Huge race for Jarrett Butcher. You know, we talked about the forest fire. Now went over to another house, set up in another machine, not his machine that he's used to. Didn't do too well in the heat race due to the incident, and to come on strong there after that terrible restart there to take that transfer spot away from Michael Neary. Michael Neary, very clean racer, not dirty, 2-time champion here in Newfoundland. So great to see he didn't throw the bumper, but unfortunately for him, he's going to have to take a seat and watch from the sidelines. But we are going to get set for our final consi, and we got 2 positions like we had earlier on the board.
Indeed we do, and leading off the front row for this one will be the number 27 car of Corey Reed, and the outside pole sitter will be the number 90 machine of Craig Kemp.
And on the inside of row number 2, veteran driver of the 7 car, Byron Bartlett, and he on the outside is going to have the 14 car of Cadence Frizzell.
The number 20 machine of Jason Gallant will fill position number 5, and Daniel Vitch in the 29 car will be your 6th place start.
Hey, you got it right. On the inside of row number 4, the 5 car, Craig Tully will take that inside line. He'll have the 93 of Taylor Layton on the outside.
Fifth and final row, we will see the 26 of Nathan Langile starting in position number 9, and your 10th place starter. That vicious crash there early after, late in his heat race, after moving into a transfer spot, the 42 Mark Williams, dead last on the field. He has a lot of work to do in this 10-lap LCQ.
Yeah, kind of rooting for Mark Williams. He had a bit of the upset there in the first heat race. So let's see what he has for us here today. The 26 Nathan Langile's been pretty good over the last couple of weeks. So a couple of big drivers at the back of the pack. But we are going to lose that pace truck, and we are going to get a shotgun from Corey Reed. The 27 gets going, and look at that, Byron Bartlett. Lots of pressure to the back bumper. The 27 with the 90 hanging on the outside.
Trying to file through that inside line. He's got a bit of momentum coming off at turn number 2. The 27 car in the way, but now look at Craig Kenny. He gets a good run coming off at 2. He will look to the outside. Everybody pushing up, a little bit of contact between the 7 and the 90. No harm, no foul. Everybody keeps it clean and green, pointed in the right direction. Corey Reed leads lap number 1.
Oh, crafty move by the 27 of Corey Reed as he decided to go up in front of the 90 and slow things down behind him, and it played all to his favor now as he gains a couple of car lengths now on the 90. A little bit of a separation between the 3, but Byron Bartlett not going away here as 2 laps completed. And look at that, the 90 sneaking up right onto the back bumper of the 27 of Reed.
Great fight inside the top 3 here early on. As mentioned, they've kind of separated themselves from the rest of the field, but if they keep battling like this, those guys behind will be able to catch up very, very quickly. Off of turn 2 they come here on lap number 3. A little bit of side-by-side action behind, and look at Byron Bartlett sneaks to the inside through the dog leg to try to get underneath the Craig Kenny. Absolutely sends it on entry, nearly makes contact with the number 90. He still finds an advantage through the center of 3 and 4, and he will clear for position 2.
What a beautiful move by the 7 of Byron Bartlett as he chased the 90 all over the track, up and down, and finally made the move. But now it's time for the 90 to make his move as we are about halfway through chance qualifier. Still plenty of time, but the top 3 pulling away. And look at that, Cadence Frizzell trying to throw a line out here with fishing rod, trying to enter the battle. But look at the 7 of Byron Bartlett testing the inside on the 27, but the 27 of Corey Reed looking strong in the front.
Yeah, Corey must have missed his mark into turn 3. He pushed way up the racetrack, and that allowed Byron Bartlett to close in and peek to the inside for just a second. Reed was able to get a nice charge coming off of 4, and now they head back into turn number 3 here on lap number 5. Man, Byron Bartlett absolutely driving it in with all of his might on entry to turn 3. He's in a transfer spot right now, but he wants that cushion by having the race lead. The cross flags will fly. 5 laps are down. 5 laps are left to go. It is still Corey Reed and Byron Bartlett in those transfer positions with Craig Kenny hot on the tail of the number 7 car. Don't count out Cadence Frizzell and Jason Gallant just yet.
Well, the way this is playing out, I don't think any of the top 3 are safe right now for the transfer, because right now this is the battle of the day. The 27 with a full mirror of the 7, looking to the high side, half car, looking for any weaknesses right now on the 27 and the 90. Just letting them go a little bit here and watching patiently and hoping that the 7 and 27 come together.
Byron Bartlett showing his aggression on the entry to these turns. He is trying his best to get underneath for the race lead. Now Craig Kenny closes up to the back bumper, gives a little bit of space going into turn number 3, trying to watch these guys figure out a weakness and pounce on it. Maybe a little bit of a tap there in the center of 3 and 4. He sneaks to the inside of Bartlett. He's got the spot at the line, but will he clear going into 1 and 2? It's a dead even fight. Craig Kenny sliding it up into the center of the turn. Bartlett's got the advantage coming off. They are still side by side, nearly making contact. Corey Reed made a mistake. These guys are absolutely brawling.
Oh, man, what an aggressive move by the 7. Crossover right in front of the 90. Else but check up or go through him, but the 90 gets it into the corner. Byron Bartlett into the wall, the 90, but Frizzell is going to get Kenny. The 90 into the back bumper is going to throw the caution here with 3 to go. That probably will put Byron Bartlett to the back of the pack.
Man, what a shame there to see that battle end in a mistake. Craig Kenny thought about going 3 wide underneath the 7 of Byron Bartlett, didn't have enough space, taps him around, ruins the 7 car's race, and it will absolutely for sure send the number 90 to the back of the field, and then gets absolutely drilled by Taylor Layton. We'll send things up to the replay booth with.
Yeah, looking at the Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay here, man, that was an absolute brawl for like 3 or 4 laps. Just these guys, 1, 2, and 3, racing with their absolute everything they've got, every ounce of everything that they've got in them. Great racing between the 27, the 7, and the 90. But as you can see, 27 had the lead. The 7 was shooting for him, and then the 90 was shooting for that second position. Just gives the 7 car just a little bit of a tap, and he shoots himself on inside. 7 was almost able to correct it, but man, and then all of a sudden there was that instant stoppage there from the inside pit wall. So tough break for him. You see he's stopped here, kind of in a lower, mid to lower racing groove, and the 093 FedEx car just sends it on in right into the 7 car. So those 2 cars absolutely done, unfortunately, but send it back up front. It looks like we got a green-white checkered here for the Conti, and Corey Reed and Craig Kenny currently in, nope, check that. Let me just refresh my timing and scoring. Corey Reed and Jason Gallant currently in those transfer spots.
Probably one of the biggest battles I've seen in the last 3 weeks, right there in that last trans qualifier. What an unbelievable run there. Byron Bartlett all over the place, upside, downside, and was looking for any ounce of vulnerability from the 27, but the 27 held on strong, decided to go to the outside, but they I believe Byron Bartlett threw it in there a little bit too hard and got a little loose before the contact was made.
That's the type of racing that you expect to see here in an LCQ. Guys absolutely going for it. They know it's their last chance to make the show. And what's the worst that can happen? They miss out trying to go for it. And unfortunately, that's what we're going to see. Craig Kenny will go to the back of the field. He will still be able to compete in this race, but he's only going to have 2 laps to do so. That's a lot of cars to pass in just 2 laps. Now into the transfer spot is a 014 of Caden Frizzell. That will move Nathan Langile and Jason Gallant up to row number 2. Then Mark Williams, Daniel Vitch, Craig Tully, Craig Kenny, the remainder of your field here. It will be our first attempt at a green-white checkered finish. Here's to hoping things go well. We do have 5 attempts, but I don't think we're going to need that many.
Yeah, I think right now, if I was happy right now, I'd be the 20 car. The 20 car of Jason Gallant there on the inside behind Corey Reed. These restarts in iRacing, the advantage definitely on the inside, depending if the 14 is really strong here. Earlier on, we a little bit of a wobble and advantage to the position number 4.
Yeah, we've seen how important it's been to be the inside pole sitter on these restarts. These guys have had such an advantage, and now it looks like because of the connection issues, the 014 machine of Cadence Frizzell is going to the rear of the field. He was in a transfer position in position number 2. He now goes to the back, and that's going to move the 26 car of Nathan Langile up to second.
Yeah, big boo-boo there by Cadence Frizzell. Unfortunately, due to the internet connection, he was blinking. Very difficult to race with the car disappearing. It's like almost the Magic Man from Talladega Nights. Now you see me, now you don't. That's not going to work as the director sends him to the back. And we are now going to see Corey Reed and the 26 on the front line. Nathan Langell on the outside. The 20 car still in that precious position in position number 3, and we are going to get a clean start here. Little contact with the 20 and 26 as the 26 tried to come down and cut the line down, but look at that. Jason Gallant now on the inside with a bit of an advantage with the 26 trying to get down to the bottom. He does have the room now, but he's going to stay outside.
Nathan Langile, the beneficiary of all the chaos here in this last chance qualifier. He is fighting for his life. The number 20 Gatorade machine of Jason Gallant, very fierce. He wants to challenge for this spot. White flag is out one more time. Langile thought about going to the inside for the race lead, but he backs off of it. Gallant trying to close in the 20 car. The 26 reeling in the 27 through the center. Contact behind these guys. This is a 3-car race.
Yeah, they're wrecking behind, but the 26 checked up there. He's going to send it in. Will he send it in here in the final corners, or is he going to protect that lead for that transfer for as Gallant now falls back? The top 2 right now, Corey Reed and your position number 2, Nathan Langile, will go to the main show as they finish the top 2.
A very dramatic, very exciting LCQ number 2 that sees number 27 of Corey Reed and the 26 of Nathan Langile. Moving on to the feature event. Done for the evening are the 20 of Jason Gallant, the 90 of Craig Kenny, Craig Tully's number 5, Cadence Frizzell's 014, Daniel Vitch's 29, the 42 of Mark Williams, the 093 of Taylor Layton, and the 7 of Byron Bartlett. They will load it up and head on home on the back of the trailer. Well, Mike, that does it for our qualifying events. We have our 22-car field set for tonight's Tranquility Online 100. We will now send it down trackside for tonight's National Anthem presentation.
Okay, folks, we'll get ready for the National Anthem here. If you're able to, would you please rise for singing of O Canada?
O Canada, our home and native land. True patriot love in all of us command. Quatre ombres se porte les pays, il se porte la croix.
From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land. Glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Drivers, start your engines.
Hey. What a wild qualifier here, Kyle.
Yeah, without a doubt. Lots of excitement in our qualifying races, the warm-up session going on right now. And now that things are a little calmed down, we have an opportunity to bring in our race director, Tim Terry, to get his side of things and maybe a little preview of the Tranquility Online 100. Tim, what do you think so far?
I think the racing's been phenomenal so far tonight, Kyle. Even the non-qualifiers that we had a little bit earlier on were decent. The heat race in that last chance qualifier was awesome. I feel bad for Byron and feel bad for Craig, but they put on a great show. Pat on the back for everybody that showed up here tonight. I know there was a couple light after last night. Everybody has a bad night from time to time, but we have 21 starters getting ready to go green. Should mention as well, there was a couple of late league invites accepted, so we have a couple of drivers dropping to the back of the field for car numbers. Jared Butcher is back there anyway, so he's back at the back, and Joey Arsenault will be dropping to the rear of the field for this one. But Joey's got a really quick race car. I fully expect him to be up there in the top 10 before the end of this one. And with the invert, we're inverting the Fast 8 qualifiers that we did not see in the heat races. So that puts Nick Codner on the pole position with Cole Butcher starting on the outside. That's you got a young gun from Eastbound Park that can wheel a bandolero, and then you got Cole Butcher, the two-time Maritime Pro Stock Tour champion, and the Snowball Derby third-place finisher from this year. So should be fun. Want to thank Mark and Joel again from Tranquility Online. They'll be back in 2 weeks' time here on Verdane for the Tranquility Super Late Models at South Boston. That'll be a June 5th race. Got some action coming up on June 6th as well. We got a charity race coming up. We still got to finalize the details on that. But speaking about finalize, we're going racing, boys. Have fun.
Woo-woo. We are gritting, Kyle. What an amazing night we got ahead of us. If the qualifiers were any indication of what we're going to see, it's going to be a hot one here in Phoenix.
I absolutely agree. The competition is fierce. The track is a bit treacherous. Should provide some excellent racing action. Tim already told you, but we'll let you know again, your front row for this Tranquility Online 100 here at Phoenix Raceway is the number 30 machine of Nick Codner and the 53 of Cole Butcher. The inside of row number 2 will find the 56 car of Stephen Matthews, and Andrew Lively will be his dancing partner in position number 4. Jason Ghost in the 41, he will round out your top 5 with the 78 of John Fitzpatrick in position number 6. Noel Fougere in the 36 will line up in position 7, and Craig McDonald, with your fast qualifier due to the invert, will start in position number 8. Then rounding out your top 10, we have the 9th place starter of Joey Arsenal in car number 3, and Heat Race 2 winner Sean Pierce starting in 10th.
And in row number 6, look at that for North Carolina, the 33, Brett Suggs. And on his outside of row number 6, the 14 of Andrew Rogers. And in number 7, the 77 on sponsors from Tranquility, Mark Dodgemont, and he'll have Barrett Bonner on the outside in the 4 car.
George White, Caden Tufts, Brandon Lively, Brett McFarlane, Corey Reed, Garrett Butcher, and Nathan Langile will conclude your 21-car field for the Tranquility Online 100. 100 laps around the Phoenix Raceway, which equals 100 miles. It is a perfect 1-mile oval. The pace truck dumps down out of the safety of pit road. Nick Connors smashes the loud pedal, and the Tranquility Online 100 is officially underway. The top 2 cars will get off to a bit of a breakaway, and the field behind will stay side by side through turns 1 and 2 for the first time. Nearly contact between your 3rd and 4th place drivers. One car way off the pace down to the inside of the back of the field, but everybody keeps it clean and green for this first lap into 3 and 4 for the first time. Looks like Nick Codner's on his way to leading lap 1.
Yeah, Jason Gosson in 41 has a front windshield full of a battle between Andrew Lively and Stephen Matthews. On the start of the race, there almost was contact between the two, but they will separate now with Andrew Lively winning that battle for position number 3. Matthews tucks in, but there is some 2x2 right behind Jason Goss. We've got big battles with John Fitzpatrick, Brett Suggs, as well as Craig McDonald and Noel Fougere, stacking them up back there for position number 6.
Craig McDonald will win that battle with Noel Fougere. Now he's trying to interject himself in the battle with John Fitzpatrick and Brett Suggs. He was working the bottom side. Now he goes to the top. Now he's back down to the bottom. Lots of lane changing for Craig McDonald. He's trying to figure out which line is the fastest around this 1-mile Phoenix Raceway oval. He now is able to get underneath of John Fitzpatrick in the 78 car. Has a great fight going through the center of 3 and 4. Fitzpatrick finding some momentum in the middle of the turn. Slides up the racetrack is the 98. And here comes Noel Fougere reeling these guys in. He does not take it 3 wide early on. Lap number 3 goes on the books, and the battle is still dead even between the 78 and the 98.
Yeah, the man on the move right now is the 98 of McDonald, as he puts lots of pressure on Fitzpatrick, and Fougere's going to go with him on the inside. Fougere takes a peek to the inside. He's going to put pressure on the 98 as the 98 clears now, and now sets his sights on Brett Suggs in the 33.
Yeah, Suggs was able to get him away from this battle as it lasted on. John Fitzpatrick, the big loser on that one, lost the fight to Suggs, lost the fight to McDonald, and in turn lost his position to Noel Fougere. Speaking of Brett Suggs, he is on the attack against Jason Ghost right now. Those two are side by side through the dog leg. The advantage will go to the 31 on the entry. He clears going center. Brett Suggs is on the move early on here in the Tranquility 100, Tranquility Online 100. He is already up 6 positions from his 11th place starting spot.
Yeah, I think Jason Goss, it's a long race here. It's just lap 6. Did not want to burn up those tires and let Suggs go. A bit of a smart play here for some of these players. This is a poker game. The poker face has to come on. It's just like chess. They don't want to show the cards too early here and want to burn up these cars and tires. So I would say we're going to probably see pit road on a 1 mile with 100 miles. So it's going to be interesting to see what the strategy here is for the drivers.
Indeed it will. We should be able to see a good portion of green flag racing with this being a bigger track than what these guys are used to racing on. It allows them to space out a little bit more, get some more room in between them, and potentially set up for some long green flag runs. That battle going on behind Brett Suggs, it is still lighting up. Jason Goss has just lost that position to the 98 machine of Craig McDonald. Now he is under fire from Noel Fougere. Fougere actually, he's just about clears for the position. No, he wiggles a little bit. Now that allows Goss to come back on the inside charge. It doesn't last too long. He loses to Fougere. Now John Fitzpatrick will work his way around the outside of the 41 car. And here comes Sean Pierce's 21 to do the same thing. So Jason Goss in a bit of a trouble here early on. He is starting to slip backwards.
It looks like that outside line is developing as the faster line, as Goss got stuck to the bottom there and lost 4 positions, starting with McDonald. So he's going to tuck in behind the 21 of Pierce. Lots of race left for Jason Goss in the 41, but a few battles going on behind Goss right now. Barrett Bonner a little bit all over the track, kind of protecting that line from Andrew Rogers and Mark Donchemont trying to come up on the back of Bonner.
Don Tremont and Rogers side by side coming off at turn number 4. Don Tremont will have the advantage at the stripe. He is not cleared the 14 yet. Sends it into turn number 1. He gets clear, but here comes the 14 coming back. We're seeing a lot of that throughout the night here so far, Mike. These guys, they kind of get a run going in, then the other car gets a run through the center, then one of the two of them gets a run coming out. Very, very challenging racetrack is this Phoenix race.
Well, Pierce has fallen off the ladder here as a little bit of contact was made between the 41 and has really put him off the pace, and now opened the door for Bonner and Donchemont, Rogers, and as well as Brandon Lively now coming up on Sean Pierce in the 21. We've seen the 41 slip back 4 positions. We talked about the draft earlier on. It could be playing a factor here as you see a line here. If you're on the inside or the outside of that freight train, it looks like it's a bit of a disadvantage.
Worthy to note as we're watching these guys fight it out, the 77 machine of Mark Dontremont was warned earlier in this race for his connection. You were kind of seeing him flash in and out there a few times. We'll have to keep an eye on that. If that does not fix itself, that will be causing a problem for him later on. We saw that happen to Cadence Frizzell in that final last chance qualifier. His connection issues actually knocked him out of a transfer spot on a restart. So we know that race officials are extremely strict on those connection problems. They're keeping a close eye on that 77 car, as he has been warned before. It doesn't look like it's too consistent. It's starting to improve here a little bit, it seems. But obviously not something that he's going to want to have to deal with. Oh, trouble! The 98 machine of Craig McDonald gets spun around. He makes significant contact with the inside wall. The caution flag has not flown. He has gotten out of the car and is already out of the server.
Hopefully he's not going to throw the finger like we see from Chase Elliott. But well, I was just about to say we had a long, strong stretch of green flag action. A lot of single file racing here. But we'll see right now from Paul as we set up the 98 and the 78 of Fitzpatrick as they battle.
Yeah, you see it. We're still under green. We just wanted to take a look and see what exactly happened there to Craig McDonald. He just came off of turn 4, hit the wall, spun on around, and retired from the race. So tough break for him, but we continue on green.
So we're not going to see the finger to anybody as McDonald took himself out, kind of went into that corner a little bit too hard, kissed the outside wall, and tagged it down to the bottom. But he is on pit road now making adjustments, but he's going to go down a couple of laps now. 2 laps down for Craig McDonald. This is still green flag, 15 laps, so I am correct. Strong run here from all the racers.
We have a fantastic battle for the lead going on right now, Mike. Nick Codner has a mirror full of Cole Butcher. Butcher was actually able to get around the 30 machine for the race lead, but Codner crossed him over and took it back. And look who is reeling it in position number 3. Your 11th place starter, Brett Suggs, on a mission through the front of the field, lap number 16, and he is on the back bumper of second place runner Cole Butcher. The 33 car, clearly a very, very strong piece underneath of him, and he is about to challenge for some of the top positions here very quickly.
Yeah, the 2-time Maritime Pro Stock champion, Cole Butcher, now has a battle on his hands as Suggs dips to the bottom and looks like he's going to clear the 53 and now set his sights on the 30 car of Nick Codner. Codner, a Bandolero driver from Eastbound Park, one of the top drivers I've seen out of the development league bound in Newfoundland. Nick Codner looking super strong here tonight on the front row as he has a full mirror of the 33 and the 53 of Butcher.
He was able to win the battle against Cole Butcher just a handful of laps ago. He's about to be put into a fight with Brett Suggs, and this is one I'm not too sure he's going to be able to win. Brett Suggs is looking absolutely fierce here within the opening fifth of this Tranquility Online 100. Started back in position 11. He is already up 9 spots and is on the back bumper for the race lead. 3-car separation at the front of the field. Cole Butcher was able to tuck right up underneath the back bumper of Brett Suggs as soon as he lost that position. He's not going anywhere just yet. Kind of watching to see what Suggs is going to do with race leader Nick Codner. So far, nothing quite yet. Codner trying to keep that 33 behind. He makes a little bit of a wiggle there off a turn 4, but it doesn't look like it hurts him any. Lap number 19 goes in the books, and we have our first caution flag of the evening flying. We have potential trouble towards the back of the field. See, Corey Reed is off the pace. Brett McFarland is all tore up in the 93 car. We'll get a visual for sure as to what happened and send it to Paul once we do.
Looked like Brett Suggs was going to apply that pressure, but they all kind of tamed down. The top 3 was really pushing away from the rest of the pack, but we are under caution. We're going to have a peek here from our good buddy Paul Strickland.
Yeah, just taking a look here, trying to get the Shed Life, Shed Movers instant replay queued up, just kind of looking through the tapes, trying to find out exactly why it is we are under that yellow flag.
I know, I'm doing the same thing myself here, Paul. I don't really see any.
I think Tim Terry needed to pee.
Oh, okay. So I was just able to turn the voice chat on. I usually turn that off while doing these. It's a bit of a distraction. I was able to get it on just quick enough to hear race director Tim Terry say that that was an accidental caution flag. They were not supposed to throw that, but somebody...
Oh, boy.
Oh, right.
Someone's going to get yelled at because what a strong green flag run we had. 20 laps of green flag leaders. The top 3 putting on a show at the front, but we're going to restack them here. Suggs will be on the outside of Codner. Butcher will be on the inside, so a little bit of advantage for position number 3 here, but it's going to stack them up, and the rest of the field, I guess they're all clapping their hands in their simulator saying, thank God, because the leaders were starting to pull away.
Got a handful of drivers that are taking the opportunity on this misfired caution to jump down pit road. We've got the 78 of John Fitzpatrick in, the 70 machine of Brandon Lively is in, the 54 of Jared Butcher is in, the 21 of Sean Pierce, Andrew Rogers is 14, Barrett Bonner in the 4, Caden Tufts. Lots of drivers in the back half of the field using this caution flag to put some fresh rubber on their super late models, get back up to the field, and maybe have an advantage on these guys up front. I will be very interested to see what kind of strategy Brett Suggs does here, Mike. That 33 car has been extremely fierce. You know he is very clearly pushing that car to its limits, trying to get everything out of it that he can. If he does not see pit road throughout this race, I'll be very curious to see how well he can stay up to the front, how well he managed his tires while charging to the front, and what he's able to do later on in the race once they have even more wear on them.
I think if that had to play out a little bit longer, the leaders probably would have put a couple of cars down, a couple laps here, and but that's going to be a difference here now for strategy. But the leaders, the top 10 basically did not, top 9 did not head down pit road. So everybody from 10th back have seen now, and not sure who took 2 tires or 4 tires, but I believe Brandon Lively was the first out of the pits.
That does appear to be the case. So 10th place on back, car number 70, Brandon Lively, all seeing service on pit road during this caution flag. So it'll be fun to watch these guys, see if they have anything for the front runners with those fresh rubbers. We will give you a quick rundown of the starting order as we prepare ourselves for the restart. It is the 30 machine of Nick Codner. He was your pole sitter. He continues to lead this race in at car number 30, Brett Suggs. The fierce run that we've seen out of him, starting in position 11 all the way up to second place right now. Then we have Cole Butcher in the 53 in third. No Fear is fourth in his 36 car. And Andrew Lively rounds up the top 5 in car number 15.
Well, it's going to be a dandy one as 25% of this race is completed. 75 laps will be left on the board here. This is going to be a dandy here, Kyle. You know, that yellow flag unfortunately did come out, but we had a huge, strong green flag. Let's see if they can get it going here. Sometimes on these restarts, they can get a little nasty as everybody's fighting for positions. They jump through the mines of this war zone.
Indeed, they can. Everybody all stacked up together, especially after a long green flag run like that. Everybody's starting to get a little bit familiar with racing around extra space. We'll see how this one goes. So far throughout the night, restarts have been pretty good. Pace car jumps to pit road, and we are racing once again. A monstrous start for Nick Codner. He runs away and hides by about 5 car lengths. Cole Butcher will sink to the inside of Brett Suggs. He will clear for position number 2 through the center of 1 and 2. Suggs to the immediate crossover. He wants the spot back down the backstretch.
Yes, Suggs did not delay there as the 53 did push up the track and open the door for Brett Suggs now in position number 2. But we've seen the strategy from Nick Codner here on this restart. No hesitation. Once that pace truck left, he was off to the races. And Nick Codner still in command here by about 3 car lengths. Battle right now between Suggs and Butcher. The 33-53 going back at it once again.
Butcher had to check up a little bit. That allowed Noel Fougier to close in. Butcher did a good job protecting that bottom line going through the backstretch dog leg. Now Fougier has a rear end full of the 15 of Andrew Lively. Lively trying to make his name known here as he scoots his way into the top 5 for the first time tonight. Lively also has to worry about the 56 car of Stephen Matthews behind him. Great, tense, close racing here within the top 10 off of this restart. Everybody's single file, but they're all tucked up with each other. Brett Suggs is right on the back bumper of leader Nick Codner. He is trying to find his way around for the lead for the first time. He shoots it to the top side. That opens up the bottom for Cole Butcher, but coming off the turn, that's where Suggs will get the run and will stay in P2 for now.
Little bit battle back there in position number 8 as Joey Arsenault tries to hold up the 78 of John Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick coming on strong on the 3 car. But look at this, Jason Goss is going to have a bit of an from his counterpart from Newfoundland. Joey Arsenault wants to come up.
John Fitzpatrick, one of those drivers that did take tires under that caution flag period, so he is on fresher rubber than the 3 car of Joey Arsenault, trying to make that an advantage. He will look to the inside coming off of turn number 4. He is not there quite yet. Arsenault sees him, gives him the space. No, Fitzpatrick backs off a little bit. Arsenault will now shoot up the racetrack. May have made a little contact there with Caden Tufts in the 88. He is still trying to get his way underneath the 3 car. Tufts is making this a great 3 car battle into 3.
That was within inches as the 3 dipped down, but the crafty 78 of veteran John Fitzpatrick holds off just a little bit and almost into the back bumper of that 3 car. What a crossover here as well. The 41 now making a move on Stephen Matthews in the 56, and he will clear. And now the 56 is going to throw it back right at the 41.
Seeing some stuff out here at Phoenix Raceway that you would see at your local dirt track. Some slide jobs, some crossovers. This is fantastic racing action going on here. This is for position 7. Stephen Matthews and Jason Goss side by side. Then John Fitzpatrick, Caden Tufts. They are all battling for position as well. Joey Arsenault's on the outside of Tufts at the moment. These guys are absolutely brawling back here. And we're only on lap 30. We still have 70% of this race left to go.
If this keeps up, oh, the 3's into the wall. He's going to be off the pace. Caden Tufts and Byron Barrett Bonner are going to clear the 3 car. He is going to fall back now and slide up the side now with the 21 of Pierce trying to tuck in as that crowd of cars now gets around the 3. What a bit of an error for the Joey Arsenault as he tagged the wall there and really messed it up there. But hopefully he battles back here and tries to slide in behind the 21 of Sean Pierce.
As this all starts to calm down, at least for the moment, we can let you know that we do have a new race leader, and you can probably guess who. The 33 of Brett Suggs has made the pass on Nick Codner. Nick Codner is now back to position number 3, as Cole Butcher was also able to get around him this last lap. So Codner's starting to fall back into the trenches of the field. He now has Noel Fougier peeking underneath of him in the center of 1 and 2. The 15 of Andrew Lively all over the 36's back bumper. I do see some damage on the right front fender there, that 30 car, so maybe he got up and slapped the outside wall, and that could be negatively impacting his race car.
Could have been similar to Joey Arsenault, pushing the car a little bit too much. Now the tires are going to come into a factor as you see the 30 slip a little bit now coming out of that corner. You're going to see a little bit of a changeover here now as we're seeing Patrick come up. The rest of the field have seen pit road, but this could play a big factor now as our leaders the caution comes out. If they get down pit road with 50 to go, it could be a totally different race once we get into the final 50.
Indeed, it could. So far, those guys that made that pit stop under that first caution flag there. We haven't really seen them jump up and fight too hard inside this top 10. The highest running driver is the 78 of John Fitzpatrick. He appears to, well, him and, all right, so we got 3 at the bottom half of the top 10. We've got Jared Butcher, Caden Tufts, and John Fitzpatrick, those guys that took tires under that caution flag. Nick Codner finally does lose that battle to Noel Fougere, so Fougiere's 36 car will move up to position number 3, and that will go official as he hits the stripe. Andrew Lively, the next car to try to attack the 30, but he's got a mirror full of Jason Goss in the 41.
He had a 15 slapped up against the wall and really opened the door for Jason Goss, but Jason Goss being a little bit patient here, did not want to throw it in there. Lots of racing left as we come up on 64 to go here on lap 36, but huge battle behind the 30 car of Nick Codner as Andrew Lively all the way back to Bear Bonner are stacking it up.
Stephen Matthews will look to the outside lane on Jason Goss here. They are dead even through the center of 1 and 2. I think Lively in the 15 may have just given Nick Codner a bit of a shot there going into turn number 1. He wasn't able to move him up out of the racing groove. Stephen Matthews using that outside to his advantage. He clears on Jason Goss. Now Jared Butcher in the 54, he saw it. He wants to take that opportunity to do the same thing. Meanwhile, Codner and Lively are side by side. This is absolutely fantastic here at Phoenix.
Yeah, huge battle right now, and Connor's trying to use up a lot of the real estate in that track to be at a disadvantage to 15, but it gets a little bit of a push from the 56, Stephen Matthews, a friendly push from back of the 56, but Lively now coming on strong at the outside, and he is going to have Jared Butcher with a little bit of a push, the outside line developing now. We got 2 lines side by side. Little drag race going on right now between the 30, but there is contact between the 41 and 56. 56 off the pace. Here comes Tuff, Fitzpatrick, and Byron, and the 56 is around.
Man, I thought they had that all gathered up, but it created a 3-wide situation going into turn number 1 with John Fitzpatrick, Caden Tufts, and Stephen Matthews. Those guys ran out of real estate. Caden Tufts makes contact with Stephen Matthews, and Matthews surprisingly doesn't really hit the wall all that bad. He hits it with the right rear, hits it with the right front, spins around the wrong way, but he might be all right here, Paul.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of contact, a little rub from the 41 as the 41 wanted to come up, but he had a brick wall with the 54 and 56. No, the 56 actually hit Jared Butcher there.
Yeah, 56 looks like he got on the 54 just a little bit, and he gathered it back up and got a little bit of a tap there from the, I believe it was the 86 that went on around as locks up the brakes, make sure he stays out of the racing groove. But tough break for the 56, Stephen Matthews. Not a real but hard hit, and he was able to grab a gear and get rolling again, so he'll be able to knock a lot of the virtual sheet metal back into place here. So going to be good to see these guys continue on here. 40 laps down, about 60 to go. Probably going to restart with about 58, 57 laps to go. I got to tell you, this is some of the best racing we've seen on Verdane TV. A lot of hard action, good, clean, hard racing at Phoenix International Raceway.
Yeah, unbelievable here, Paul. Kyle, like, this is just unreal. I believe I almost lost my virginity here, but look at this. Pit road is alive. The leaders are coming down, and so is a couple from the rear.
Everybody using this opportunity to come down onto pit road for fresh tires, maybe a little splash of gas or two. We will see who does what. Everybody getting themselves situated into their pit stalls. It's literally everybody that has come down. The first car, the only car that I saw drive by on the front stretch was Brett McFarland, but he is 4 laps down. John Fitzpatrick is going to win this race off of pit road. He was on pit road prior to this caution flag during the first one, so he decided to only take right side tires this time, so that will allow him to leave pit road number 1. The running order behind him, Sean Pierce follows out in 2nd. Then we have Jarrett Butcher in 3rd, Cole Butcher in 4th, Andrew Rogers, the 5th car to leave pit road. And then after that, Brett Suggs comes off in position 6. Stephen Matthews is 7th, despite being in that incident. Nick Codner 8th. And looks like Noel Fougere and Caden Tufts will round up the top 10 coming off at pit road.
And kind of look now, 5th position back now. Cole Butcher will start in position number 5. Brett Suggs in 7th position, and Nick Codner in the 9th with Noel Fougere right there at the top 10. So our leaders now about 5 rows back now. So it's going to be a bit of a toss salad here. A lot of change ups here for the next restart here on lap 42.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be an interesting restart, to say the least. We did have one brave soul decide to stay out on the racetrack, and he will take over the race lead for this restart, and that is the number 4 car of Barrett Bonner. The 93 machine of Brett McFarlane currently leads the field. He is going to opt to take the waiver on once the field gets 1 to go, so he will drop to 3 laps down from 4, and then we will have Barrett Bonner in the 4 leading a field of fresh tires behind him. So this will be an interesting restart. We'll see how well he can keep those positions with everybody fresh on tires in his rearview mirror.
Well, just a note on Barrett Bonner. He did go down pit road just there at the first time we've seen half the field go down. So he does not have original rubber. So he does have some bit of a strategy in his mind here, as he said, stayed out. So let's see if he can take it all the way. We've seen Mike Alexander down to 0.1 of a gas tank. So maybe Barrett Bonner has a plan here for us.
Yeah, this will be very fun to watch here. As mentioned, he was part of that first group that pit under the first caution, so he is not on an original race rubber here, so we won't be at a massive disadvantage, but still a disadvantage nonetheless, as those guys, that second green flag run was long enough to give them quite a bit of wear, and especially with how intense the racing was that we saw there. A little bit of a different start. He doesn't go as quickly as Codner does, but he is able to get a great restart, leaving those guys behind him. John Fitzpatrick is able to clear as well, and then we're side by side for third with Jared Butcher and Sean Pierce. Oh, Pierce, big shot to Fitzpatrick. He hangs on.
Pierce into the back of the 78, gives him a root.
Comes in the back here, Mike. The 3 machine has gone around. He took somebody with him. That's the 41, Jason Goss. Joey Alstronal and Jason Goss. No caution flag has come out yet. They are still pointed in the right direction, and they will get up to...
Well, a little eastbound and down. 2 drivers from Eastbound Park from the Rock now at the tail, unfortunately for Jason Goss and Joey Arsenault, but hopefully they'll catch up. Lots of race left as we're getting close to the cross flags, but Barrett Bonner has Jared Butcher, my apologies, I almost called him Cole, but Jared Butcher all over the back of the 4 of...
It's been a very interesting night for Jared Butcher. As mentioned at the top of the show, dealing with some wildfires up in his neck of the woods. He had to move to a friend's house to avoid being engulfed in part of that. So he's racing on a backup system, something that he's not familiar with, but that system is allowing him to take the race lead for the first time here on lap 46. How about it? Jarrett Butcher from the back of the field. He started this race in position number 20. He transferred through a last chance qualifier, and he leads his first lap before halfway through. What a drive for the number 54 car. John Fitzpatrick has moved his way around for position number 2, and now Barrett Bonner under attack from the 53 of Cole Butcher. He loses that spot to Cole.
Yeah, John Fitzpatrick does not want to get Cole Butcher up there, because if the Butchers come together, they are going to be a little... Bakes brothers working together here. Fitzpatrick trying to hold off that 53 as the tilt load 54-53 trying to dominate here for the Tranquility 100. Folks, what a night we're having here in Phoenix. Unbelievable.
It really has been a very fierce, competitive, and fun 48 laps to watch. We are just a couple laps away from halfway. Lots of things have changed. Great racing action, different strategies, lots of position swaps going on. This has been a very fun Tranquility Online 100 so far. Jared Butcher continues to lead John Fitzpatrick and Cole Butcher. Barrett Bonner continues to ride in position number 4, but he now has a challenge from the 33 of Brett Suggs. Suggs is underneath as they work through the dogleg. Sean Pierce is pressuring Suggs. Suggs goes to the bottom. Pierce thinking about going to the top, but he stays behind the 33, maybe to try to push him on through and around the 4 car. It's a side-by-side, dead-even fight coming off of turn 4. Bonner hangs on at the line, I believe. He does not. Brett Suggs nips him at the line. They are dead even going into 1 and 2. Bonner, a little bit of a disadvantage with the tires. Oh, a little bit of contact there from Brett Suggs. That shoots him up the track. Suggs will go by. Pierce will go by. And now Andrew Rogers tries to get by as well.
The 56 all up into the back of the 4 car as well. Unfortunately for Stephen Matthews, he had all the 4 bumper in front of him as he had a strong run on the outside line. Bonner came all the way up to the top and threw a wall up But the man on the move right now, Bear Bonner in the 33, getting a couple places there. Sean Pierce trying to work it up with him as well.
Absolutely incredible fight going on behind Brett Suggs and Sean Pierce. It's Bear Bonner that's kind of leading this group. You've got Steven Matthews. He's already rebounded quite nicely from the involvement in that second caution there. He is trying to get around the 4-car. Then Andrew Rogers and Noel Fugero side by side. Nick Codner and Mark D'Entremont are fighting it out tooth and nail here. We're right back to what we saw that previous run here, Mike. We got kind of like almost a super speedway draft pack going on with a whole bunch of side-by-side racing and position swapping going on mid-pack.
Yeah, Codner's fighting, trying to come up. He is on that outside line, but Matthews and Fugere now almost in contact with each other. Huge battles going up behind Bear Bonner in the 4. So Matthews now will look to the inside, does the crossover, dips down to the bottom. The other, the Fugere and Codner trying to make a run with them, but they are all over the track. The real estate is just, it's a high side, low side. They, one of them are running one single line right now.
Yeah, this racetrack is showing its versatility for sure. Lots of outside use, lots of inside use, guys switching lanes, doing whatever they can to find an advantage, and it's putting on an absolutely great show here for all of us with Vidane TV, all of you watching. A great crowd on Facebook. I've been paying attention to the numbers there. 86 live viewers on Facebook. We thank you guys so much for watching. We hope that you're enjoying this as much as we are. This fight continuing on with Steven Matthews and Barrett Bonner. Bonner's going to sacrifice this position to Steven Matthews now. It looks like he's going to be able to clear him. No Fujita to be the next one. John Fitzpatrick, I think that was Nick Codner. Nick Codner just hit the outside wall in turn number 4. He loses a spot to Mark D'Entremont here going into turn number 1. Doesn't look like it affects him too much as he gets right back on the back bumper of the 77.
You got to give it up for the 56 of Steven Matthews as they fought so hard with Barrett Bonner, and Bonner putting on a huge fight now, and he will be contested by the 36 of Fugere as Fugere drops to the bottom. Now they will go lots of drag racing here at the Tranquility Online 100. Unbelievable racing. Now the 56, lots of clean air as he separates from that rest of the battles and sets his sights right now on the 21 of Sean Pierce.
Things are starting to clear up here just a little bit. The only battle that we got amongst that group is with Noel Fugere and Barrett Bonner. Fugere has the advantage here through the middle of 3 and 4. They make a little bit of contact there, and that now puts the 4-car at the advantage at the stripe. It is another dead even fight going into 1 and 2. Just great battling. Barrett Bonner, he's able to use those older tires, and he has been dropping through the field, but he hasn't really been doing it at a rapid rate. He's at least still showing his competitiveness. He's got a strong race car underneath of him. He's just may have made the wrong strategy move here for what he was hoping was going to be able to happen. He's able to hang on to Noel Fugere's position for right now, but Fugere is not going away quietly.
Well, Bonner, the only one to stay out from that pit strategy. It's got about less than 10 laps, about 10 laps in the difference in between the rubber right now, but it's holding right now as they continue to go side by side. Fugere looking for any bit of rubber here now to try to get a little bit of an edge on the 4-car. And look at this, now the 77 is going to dip down and may give it a little bit of assistance, but the 77 is all over the track as he may make it 3 wide here.
Yeah, these guys can't settle this thing on. That's allowing Mark D'Entremont to close on in. Oh, more contact between Fugere and Bonner. Nick Codner got into the back of Mark D'Entremont as they are now 3 wide through the dog leg. Bonner backs up for that one. Codner, the big winner, he gains 2 spots with 1 move. Great opportunity there for Nick Codner, and he pounced.
What a shake-up there with Fugere taking advantage of it. But Nick Codner finally getting around. We see him as a lead. We are 60 laps completed. Huge gap right now between the leaders and that big battle that Fugere and the boys were throwing down. They're at position number 7.
You know, I was a little concerned with this being a 1-mile racetrack that this could be a lengthier show than what we've been used to in the past, but with how good the racing has been, the laps are absolutely just flying by. Lap number 60 goes in the books. 60 down, 40 laps remain. Jarrett Butcher in the 54 car. He is still your race leader. He has Brett Suggs in position number 2. on his back bumper, then it is John Fitzpatrick, Cole Butcher, and Sean Pierce to round out your top 5, giving you a little bit of an update with those guys up front as we were focused on the battle there for positions 7 on the back. Now we're starting to get a little bit of space in between everybody. Guys are starting to get a little comfortable with the race cars, with the racetrack, with their competition starting to settle in here. You could be preparing for a long green flag run.
Yeah, I think right now the top 6 are going to be looking for testing certain lines here, not throwing a lot of pressure on the leader right now. And we have 38 laps left to go for the Tranquility Online 100. So lots of racing left. So these guys are not going to put too much pressure on Jared Butcher as they run some hot, fast green laps here as we count them down. 63 now gone. Man, what a fast race we're seeing here in Phoenix as the leader, Butcher, coming on with a huge show as he had some bad news earlier on in the evening. And like you said earlier, Kyle, he is in a new environment as he is not in his typical simulator that he's used to.
And what a thing to have on the back of your mind, having to leave your home for the potential risk of losing it to a wildfire. That is not something that anybody wants to think about. And he's out here performing at his absolute best, running an iRacing Tim's Corner Motorsports event, and is leading it with all of that going on right now. So a fantastic performance out of Jared Butcher in the 54. As mentioned, he had to come from one of the last chance qualifiers. He started in 20th out of 21 cars here in this Tranquility Online 100, and now he is leading it, and he has been leading it here for a number of laps. Brett Suggs has been all over the back bumper of that 54 ever since he moved into position number 2, but so far he hasn't found a way to get around the 54. Could be saving his stuff, could be trying to find a line, learn a little bit about the 54 car before he's able to make that opportunity happen.
It kind of looks like he's testing Jared Butcher. It's he's throwing to the inside, he backs out, he throws to the high side. Brett Suggs is really playing a lot of mind games right now, 54. It is at some point in the next 34 laps, he's going to have to make his move. But right now, Brett Suggs being very crafty in the position number 2. And John Fitzpatrick just sitting back there in position 3, watching it all unfold and looking for a quick way around these two and hoping that hopefully there might be some contact with our leaders.
Yeah, Brett has an opportunity here to kind of test the waters a little bit. As you just said, John Fitzpatrick is close behind in position 3, but he's not really challenging right now. He's kind of just laying back there right now, just running. Oh, there may have been some contact right there. I don't know if it was contact or if that was just a jerk reaction move on the wheel from Jared Butcher not to slice down on the nose of the 33, but Brett Suggs is trying to take the inside line to get around the 54 car. Butcher is doing a great job on the top to keep him behind that 54 machine. Lap 67 goes in the books. We have 33 laps remaining. The 33 car showing so much. Oh, Jared Butcher is in the wall. A big slap shot to the outside safer barrier. That crinkled up the right front pretty big there, Mike.
Yeah, the 54 has been in protection mode the last couple of laps, and it's really playing in favor for Brett Suggs as now he dips down to the bottom. We are going to see with the leader, but Brett Suggs may drop back once again. He is still waiting for that right time because just like in any major race, if you too early, now you got to contend with Jared Butcher on the back bumper, but Suggs will finally clear now as he's going to take over the lead, but we've got lap traffic coming up, Kyle.
We sure do, Mike. The first cars on the tail end of the lead lap. Well, we got Brett McFarland first. We know he's a few laps down already, but ahead of him is Joey Arsenault in the number 3 machine. There was a pretty big slide out of the 54 car of Jared Butcher that are coming off of turn 2 that final lap that previous lap before Suggs was able to clear. So I'm wondering if maybe that damage has knocked out the toe a little bit, made that 54 car handle a little bit unwell, and that is what sacrificed that lead over to Brett Suggs. We talk about it all the time. You have to be perfect. You have to hit your marks. You can't really afford to make too many mistakes, and Jared Butcher messed up there, made a pretty big one, damaged the right front fender on that number 54 car, and has lost the lead to Brett Suggs, which may be a checkmate moment. We've seen how strong Brett Suggs has been all night long.
Well, you got to give a round of applause to Brett Suggs as he was playing a lot of mind games back there behind the 54. He was looking at the high side. He would tuck in and dip his nose in, and he would back out. And then all of a sudden, the 54 became very protection on the lines as Brett Suggs was testing the high line. And then all of a sudden, the 54 was bit of damage. So here we now see the leader, Brett Suggs, being a little bit dominant here by 3 car lengths, but the 54 of Jared Butcher not going away. And we may see a bit of a shake-up here as we come up on the leaders. Joey Arsenault will be the car to go down a lap as Brett Suggs now closes the gap with the 3 car of Arsenault.
We've already seen a shakeup in the top 5. How about that third-place car? That is the 56 of Stephen Matthews. He has jumped around both Cole Butcher and John Fitzpatrick, and for Sean Pierce, for that matter as well. The 56 was involved in that previous... Oh, Jared Butcher's in trouble again. A big slide and a save. Jared Butcher wheeling that number 54 machine. He is trying to get back to the lead, and he's pushing that car to its limit.
Well, I'm sure the spotter is saying the 56 is coming on strong. Joey kind of in the way of the 56. 56 not having a lot of luck trying to come up through the traffic, as earlier on he got caught up in that mess with Barrett Bonner and tried to come up the top side, and Bonner came up and really threw the wall there in front of the 56. Quite surprised how good the 56 is right now to come from all the way from 9th position not that long ago and getting around that huge battle that we watched for 15 to 20 laps. So props to the 56 of Stephen Matthews as he tries to close the gap right now on 54 of Jared Butcher.
He's absolutely doing that. I'll be very curious to see if he's able to get around this 54 car, what he has for the 33 of Suggs. Suggs is starting to walk away from the field. His gap over second place, Jared Butcher, has grown to a full second. Stephen Matthews continues to reel in that 54. He's going to try to challenge here in the center of 3 and 4, but he's not quite close enough. And now he goes to the pits. Stephen Matthews is going pit side from 3rd place.
What? He was a 10th of a second faster than Jared Butcher. I don't think he wanted to go down pit road.
This is a very interesting call here. You would think that with those caution flags, these guys would have been able to fuel up and do what they needed to do. I'm not quite sure what the fuel is like for these guys.
He went by himself.
I don't know if anybody else is going to start coming down as well, but a very unexpected move here by Stephen Matthews from P3. We were just talking about him potentially moving to 2nd, and he goes to pit road.
Well, that's going to be huge conversation if we have Stephen Matthews in the checkered flag position at the end of this race. Could that have been the strategy move of the night for Stephen Matthews and the 56 team? Maybe it could have been lack of fuel. Who knows? But we've seen quite a few of these races where with 5 to go, we've seen our leaders come down with not enough fuel. So Stephen Matthews now back out on the track, but our leader, Brett Suggs, right now, fastest car on the track with a 28.35. This is going to be an exciting conclusion as we count them down. 22 laps left for the Tranquility Online 100. Check them out online, tranquility.app. Man, Kyle, what a night we're having here Saturday night in Phoenix.
Oh, it's been a fantastic night. This Tranquility Online 100 has been extremely exciting all the way through. All of our qualifying related events were very fun to watch, and now this main event has just been absolutely spectacular. The gap behind the 33. Oh, we've got a caution. The gap behind the 33 no longer means anything. What would the caution flag be for this time? Trying to see the 14. Oh, the 54. Jared Butcher has finally lost it. We've seen him struggle throughout the night over these last 10 or 15 laps after making contact with the outside wall and losing the race lead. He has finally lost control of that machine, and it came from the front bumper of brother Cole. Cole Butcher turns Jared Butcher.
Yeah, you can see right now the Shed Movers instant replay here. Man, oh man, 57. He was a little bit slow going in, but he wasn't that dang slow. Holy moly, 54 was.
I could hear. He's yelling at his mother right now.
He's yelling at somebody. 53 definitely closes up in a big way. 54 gets a little out of shape. Gets a triple tap from the 53, sends him on around, and man, oh man, stops him right in the racing groove. So that's definitely why the caution came out. That's a tough break. You got to wonder if there was maybe something broke in the 54. Maybe it was a fuel issue. We see he's only, according to our timing and scoring, he's only been on pit road twice. So he's on pit road now too. So
I got it, Paul. Jared Butcher ate Cole Butcher's Doritos.
That's what it was. It
was the Doritos, man.
You know, you never touch a man's Doritos, especially if it's a relative. Come on now.
What were you thinking coming around turn 3? Doritos, man. Well, look at the leaders all coming down pit road, and Codner and Noel Fougere are staying out. Steve Matthews is also staying out where he was down pit road. So, Kyle, strategy. Stephen Matthews, we see him go down pit road. He is going to be on road number 2, I believe, as they come around now as the leaders are on pit road.
Gentlemen,
Yo!
54 car claimed that caution. Jared Butcher ran out of fuel in turn 2.
Oh, not the Doritos.
Doritos. We've Pro Stock Tour. We've seen a couple of situations in the past like that before, so we were kind of closing our eyes next door to you guys. But Jared Butcher ran out of fuel, so that's the reason for the caution flag. It gives these guys an opportunity to come down pit road.
I believe we had that a couple weeks ago with Craig McDonald. So we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, the Richmond race ran like this too. It's a bigger racetrack. I knew these guys would need fuel. Looking at the fixed setup, we could have packed it full. We probably still wouldn't have made it on fuel. Same deal with North Wilkesboro last week when we did the North Wilkesboro race. But it changes the complexity of this one. It was going to look interesting with Steve staying out or coming down pit road. Yeah, it changes the whole complexity of this one as we get ready to go back to green here in a lap and a half.
Unbelievable. So the final 18 laps, we'll see a couple caution laps here, Kyle, but this is really going to throw a wrench in.
Yeah, that's for sure. We now have the reset with a caution flag, like you mentioned. I guess some of these guys really did have some fuel-related strategies thrown in here, and Stephen Matthews picked the perfect time to do his ordeal. He made a green flag pit stop, which didn't help, but now he's going to be able to line up. It looks like in position number 7, he did not lose a lap, it appears, during that exchange. He's starting to drop back through the field here, so we'll see. He crosses the line in position 13, so he's able to stay on the lead lap. He'll have a lot of cars he'll have to pass, but he is on the lead lap, and it does appear like we will get the one to go this time. So we're half a lap away from going green. Did it not come down pit road? That is the 36 of Noel Fougere and the 30 of Nick Codner. They will lead your field back to this restart. Then we have the 33 of Brett Suggs. And how about the 77 of Mark D'Entremont? The first time we've seen him up in the top 5 tonight. He will restart in 4th. Then we've got the 78 of John Fitzpatrick 5th. Cole Butcher is 6th. Brandon Lively, Barrett Bonner, Sean Pierce, Caden Tufts, your top 10. We will restart with 17 laps to go in the Tranquility Online 100.
As they say at Newfoundland, it's going to get tangly in here, Kyle. And Patrick 3 times on pit road. Will that be the strategy here tonight? But Fougere will get the shotgun. He fires, and here comes Brett Suggs to the inside with Fitzpatrick on the bumper. We're giving him a little bit of a push, but look at that, the 30 tipping down and throwing the wall in front of the 30. The 30 now rising up, and Suggs now looking to the bottom, and he's going to take Mark D'Entremont with him.
Nick Codner pushed up the racetrack, kissed the outside wall, and that gives position number 2 to Brett Suggs. D'Entremont in the 30. The 30 goes around. Caution flag flies. Somehow it's only those 2 cars, and they managed to...
Well, caution has been called here, but wow. Now, I don't think this is going to be the last caution we will see, as this is going to get tangly. 15 laps, couple more caution laps. Paul, this is going to be an exciting one.
Most definitely. Pulling up the Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay here. We'll give it to you in real time, and you can see the 30. We're going to focus in on him. Gets a shot from the 77, sends him on around, another little shot there. And they do like a simultaneous spin, and then they straighten it right back out. This has been the cleanest race I've ever seen here on Bedane TV. Even the wrecks are clean. This is absolutely fantastic racing here from the Tranquility Super Late Model drivers here for Tim's Corner Motorsports.
It's all this
here at
practice.
Yeah, lots of practice.
All the practice from COVID-19 washing their hands.
Yeah, that's right. Making sure everybody's
so
keeping it clean.
There's not a bit of bacteria on these guys.
Absolutely, but definitely a fantastic race here so far, clean race here, and that was the Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay. And we just want to give you a quick heads up. Shed Life Shed Movers is a professional, full-service shed moving service located in Central Florida, but they serve the entire state of Florida. Shed Life Shed Movers has been exceeding customer shed moving expectations with outstanding customer service for over 12 years. So definitely be sure to check them out on Facebook, as they are one of Vidane TV's official sponsors.
Coming from Newfoundland, Paul, the shed is the most important thing next to the wife.
You know, you're not the first Canadian person to tell me that there's stuff that goes on in the shed.
So I'll tell you a little story. So I'm from a small town called Gander, and Monday night it's Ron's shed, Tuesday night it's Barry's shed, Wednesday night, so it's like a pub crawl. So the shed is very important. So this company, I'm sure when you sell your house, you don't want to lose your shed. So these guys are very important people, I assume, in the state of Florida to move your shed. So big shout out to those guys. Maybe they would do well up here in Newfoundland, because that is the holy grail. The shed is the place. I'm sure there's people right now in Newfoundland and Labrador actually watching this race in their shed. Drinking some wobbly pops, Kyle.
Now hang on, time out.
Some wobbly.
Time out. What in the world is a wobbly pop?
Oh, beers.
Oh, beers. I know what beers are.
Wobbly pops.
Wobbly pops. Roger that. Learn something new every night here on Vidane TV.
And they probably got the moose stew on, but this is going to be an exciting conclusion, Kyle and Paul. We got 13 laps to go here. I don't think this is going to be our last caution, but Fougere is the dominant one right now. He's the only one on the does not have tires from that last pit road strategy. Suggs is going to be hot on that outside. If he times it properly here, Suggs could take control over here, but what we've seen in the iRacing series is very hard to gauge that launch. So strategy on the 36, will he go when the pace truck exits, or will he hold him back and try to check up that field? We'll see in just a moment, Kyle, as they come around. This is going to be an exciting restart.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. We haven't seen a car as successful on the top side as we have the bottom, but we also haven't seen a car on the top side that has been as strong as Brett Suggs has been all night long. So it'll be very fun to see how well he can gauge no Fougere start here. Fougere restarting from the lead for the first time tonight. We will have 12 laps to go in the Tranquility Online 100. Mike is banking on a couple more cautions. I'm hoping that we don't see another yellow. The racing has been absolutely fantastic under green flag conditions. So let's hope that with this 12-lap run, it can take us straight to the finish.
Kyle, the gloves are off. It's going to be a battle. It is a Royal Rumble. Hit the hammer, and if I was a car on the track right now, I think I'd want to be the 78 of Fitzpatrick. Pace truck has exit. Here comes Fougere. Suggs gets a good start, and we are off to the final 12 laps.
Suggs is able to get a good enough restart to drop to the bottom, but that opens up the top for Cole Butcher. Butcher takes it. He leans on the right rear and will push up the racetrack. Fougere is sideways coming off at turn number 2. Butcher loses third and is in a battle for fourth. Here comes Brett Suggs to the bottom. Sticks the nose of the 33 to the inside. He doors the 36 coming up through the center. Cole Butcher is sideways behind these guys. Lots of action on this opening lap. Butcher goes around. Sean Pierce is involved. Multiple cars crashing in turn 4. Caution flag will fly.
Caden Tufts, Don Chamont, they are all stacking up, but look who gets through the field. The 6-time champion from Newfoundland, the 27 of Corey Reed gets through that mess. So that's going to be a huge shakeup here, and like I said, we will see another caution.
Crash here on the front stretch on the first lap of the restart. Caden Tufts goes upside down at the end of it. Mark D'Entremont is involved. The 30 of Nick Codner is involved. Sean Pierce took a big lick to the outside wall. Caden, already mentioned Caden Tufts. Cole Butcher actually was able to kind of hang on to it after he was bounced around like a ping pong ball. But a big crash here on lap number 89, Paul. That will restack him again, and we'll have to do another restart.
Yeah, Shed Life, Shed Movers, instant replay here. We're looking at it from the chopper. The 70 gets into the 53, gets the 53 sideways. Before that even happened, the 15 behind these guys by 2 rows. Got a little bit squirrely to get these guys into 3 wide scenarios here. But then you see the 53 just kind of walks up the track, gets really loose, loses the back end of that car. Looks like he has it about safe, but the 21 is there, gives him a little bit of a shot, a little bit of help around. The 53 gets into the 88, sends the 88 into the wall, pancakes him, and man, what an awful angle to hit there. The 88 into the 21 and then gets hammered by the 54, the 77, and the 30. 77 hits him 2 more times and then gets T-boned by the 30 to finally flip him over on his roof. Holy cow, what a wreck. Tough break for those guys, man. We got less than 10 laps to go here. See the flag man there from iRacing giving it his all with the caution flag there. He's even ripping under slow motion, and he's getting after it. But, man, tough break for the 88 Caden Tufts, George White, the 93 Brett McFarland. These guys are back in the end of the pack. They might be able to fix some of the damage on the cars, but it doesn't look like they're going to be any kind of contender here for either Brett Suggs or Noah Fougere as they're running 1 and 2.
Now, if we go back to the restart before this, we had Fitzpatrick on the inside, but Suggs was on the outside. Now we're going to switch them around. The front row will actually flip now from the last one. Fougere will be on the outside. Brett Suggs now is a quick car, so Fitzpatrick might be able to get a bit of a better advantage now on this restart for that inside line in row number 2, but a couple of cars that got through that wreck, almost like cold trickle, drive through it. Corey Reed and Jason Goss just barely missing all that action. So a couple of hot cars from Newfoundland now in the mix, the 27 and 41 in row 4 and 5. So this is going to be a shakeup as we count them down. Kyle will probably see 6 to go to conclude this.
That's what I'm kind of thinking too. We should get the 1 to go this next time by, and then moving up to 6 to go once we go green. And we'll give a shout out too to that number 4 car, Barrett Bonner, watching the Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay on that crash. He had the 21 car of Sean Pierce bounce off that passenger side door and then correct over into the outside wall. Never phased the 4 car of Barrett Bonner. Didn't knock him out of shape, didn't spin him around. Barrett was able to keep that car underneath of him and now sits himself in position number 5. He was pulled a bit of a strategy move earlier on that didn't work. He's able to recover from it and is now looking at a potential top 5 finish here in the clutch stages of this race. So this is going to continue to get even more exciting. We restarted with 12 laps to go, just a few minutes to go. We'll cut that in half. We're going to do it with 6 laps to go next time by.
I want to give a big shout out to Joey Arsenault. He is road. He's not going to finish the race, but he won 2 big races here tonight. His heat race took the penalty for the late registration there, but unbelievable day for Joey Arsenault of Logan Bay. So hopefully we'll see him at the next race. But we got 6 to go. It's going to be sociable time, Kyle. It's going to be an awesome conclusion here in Phoenix for the Tranquility 100 online. Check them out online, tranquility.app. This is going to be a dandy one. Stephen Matthews really fast. Brett Suggs is one of the fastest ones on the track. But it'll be interesting to see what we see from row 3 and 4.
Here we go, race fans. Strap them tight one more time. We're going to go green with 6 laps to go. Brett Suggs, your control car. He hits the gas pedal as soon as the pace truck gets out of his way. No Fougere expected it. He got off to a nice restart. Does the same thing that Suggs did on the previous restart. Drops to the bottom. Fitzpatrick goes to the top, slings it in there, and has the advantage. Fougere trying to fight back, but John Fitzpatrick takes over position 2 off of turn 2.
Fougere trying to tuck in there in front of the 70, but the 70 of Brandon Lyon toe-to-toe. Matthews trying to come up on the 4 of Bonner. We got a huge battle right now going on behind Fougere. And
where in the world did Brandon Lively come from? The number 70 Klondike car up to position number 3 around the outside of Noel Fougere. He pushes tight. Fougere gets sideways. We are 3 wide once again. Bonner on the inside. Fougere in the middle. Lively up top. Jason Goss sees it. He goes 3 wide. Lively gets hit from Fougere. Fougere and Lively touch again. And Andrew Lively's going to spin him around. Caution flag will fly.
Lots of exchange in paint between Lively and quite a bit of paint there on the 36 as they battle it out, but we are going to see a shootout here, Kyle. I was thinking that we were going to go to the final, but we are going to see one more caution, hopefully, here. And a lot of 3 wide action back there for that position number 4, or for position number 3.
Taking a look right now at the Shed Life Movers instant replay. 36 inside the 70 Klondike machine. What would you do for a Klondike bar? And the 77, the 70 goes a little bit high, and 36 just gives him a little bit of a tap. Looks like he's just about got it corrected. Kind of bounces off the 36, shoots the 36 on down low. He has to check up to make sure he doesn't save it, and then just gets punted from the 15. I mean, really, there's nowhere for the 15 to go. As you can see, he's going to get a shot from the 56 machine, and the 21 gets some nose damage there as he goes nose to nose with the 36, and then the 30 just trying to avoid the wreck, gets into the 27, but everybody's pointing in the right direction at this point. Everybody's able to grab a gear and drive on away. So going to be a real exciting 3 to go here. Green-white checkered attempt. We got 12 cars on the lead lap. Brett Suggs leading them off to the next green flag.
Yeah, Sean Pierce has had a lot of bad luck here tonight. He's been tangled up, not his fault, but he's been in a couple of wrecks here tonight. Lots of damage on the front of that 21, the Woods Brother colors. Sean Pierce from the Maritime Pro Stock Tour. So we'll see what he has for us in this shootout. One green-white checkered. Look at that, Jason Goss now in row number 2 on the outside. He has made it all the way up to the front. So this is going to be an interesting final crack of the whip for the 41. I'm sure right now, Kyle, the spotters are just screaming into drivers, it's go time, baby.
This is going to be a fantastic finish. We've just gotten the word from race control. This will be our first of 5 green-white checkered attempts to finish this one under green. We are going to overtime here for the Tim's Corner Motorsports Tranquility Online 100. Brett Suggs will restart from the lead, and I think it's safe to say, Mike, that he has been the dominant car all race long. Started in position number 11, quickly worked his way up to the front of the field, and once he got to the front, he really didn't look back from there. He's been in the top 3 the entire time. He needs, hopefully, just one more clean restart to put this thing in victory lane. He was our winner of heat race number 3, looking to score the big check and the big trophy here in the Tranquility Online 100.
Yeah, he's been dominant all race long, and Suggs from North Carolina, about a 1/10 of a second faster, so he's obviously found the line, the quickest line around. He's got lots of clean air now. He will have the advantage here with the shotgun, so, but the big, right now, if Fitzpatrick can time this properly, what we've seen in some of the restarts from Brett Suggs was he does fire when the pace truck leaves, so if the 78 can time it properly, we may see a bit of a surge from the 78. 78 has been down pit road 3 times. His strategy a little bit different. Suggs down pit road twice, so we will see an exciting conclusion here in Phoenix for TranquilityOnline.app.
We saw Pit Strategy get John Fitzpatrick a win a few weeks ago at 5 Flag Speedway. Totally different case here. He's going to have to try to beat Brett Suggs straight up on the loud pedal and with the steering wheel firmly planted in between the hands. It's going to be a white knuckle green-white checker here, folks. This is going to get fun. Brett Suggs, John Fitzpatrick, row 1. Barrett Bonner, Jason Goss, row 2. Stephen Matthews, Sean Pierce, row 3. Nick Codner, Corey Reed, row 4. And row 5 will be Brandon Lively and Andrew Lively. Here we go. First attempt at a green-white checkered finish. The pace truck goes to pit road. Suggs waits a few seconds before he goes. Now he hits the gas, and we are back to green. Barrett Bonner with a great restart. He fills the inside line before John Fitzpatrick can do so. Fitzpatrick doesn't care. He wants the outside line to challenge for the lead.
Yeah, different strategy on that restart. That checking them all up, but look at this battle. The 78 of Fitzpatrick, door to door right now with your leader to third. Fitzpatrick with a little bit of advantage on that outside. Finding some rubber here. Toe-to-toe. White Silk's going to be coming out in just a moment. What an unbelievable finish here as they battle for the lead.
Can John Fitzpatrick throw the spoiler? He's struggling through 1 and 2. Brett Suggs is trying to clear down the back chute. Here comes John Fitzpatrick making one last charge on the top side. Who is it going to be? Suggs clears in the center of 3 and 4. Bonner underneath the 78 car. Out of turn number 4, the Tranquility Online 100 will go to the 33 of Brett Suggs. The dominant car of the night does pick up the feature checkered flag. John Fitzpatrick was oh so close to getting it done, but falls to position number 2. Barrett Bonner from 14th position will finish in 3rd, and then Jason Goss, he had a troublesome night throughout this feature. He comes home 4th, and Stephen Matthews getting caught up in an early race incident, a random pit stop late in the going. He survives to finish in 5th.
Yeah, what a wild night here in Phoenix. But Sean Pierce in 6th position, Noel Fougere in Brandon Lively, Andrew Lively, and Nick Connor completing your top 10. Man, Kyle, I was on the edge of my seat all night long. I didn't even manage to get a couple of wobbly pops in me here because it was so glued to the screen here tonight. Paul, what an exciting night.
It was an absolutely fantastic race all the way through. All of our qualifying events were fun. The main event was great from start to finish. The finish was phenomenal. I seriously thought that John Fitzpatrick had a realistic shot at stealing this victory. He looked so good on the outside there on that opening lap of the green-white checkered finish, and I don't know if he just pushed tight or if maybe he was pressured to move up the racetrack a little bit and didn't get as good of a run with the line that he had to use. But Brett Suggs was able to fight through on the final lap, took the 78's hopes of winning that race away, forced him to finish 2nd, and capped off an absolutely dominating performance and scored the victory. We're in connections with our feature event winner here in the Tranquility Online 100. It is the 33 car of Brett Suggs. Brett, an absolutely fantastic night for you all the way through. You won your heat race, weren't able to qualify in through the qualifying times, but won your heat race, came from 11th. You were up in the front of the field within the first 20 laps, and you never went away after that. Capped off the dominating night with a win.
Yeah, definitely excited to get one of these wins. We've been super close in a lot of them, a couple P2s, a lot of P5s, but man, it's just exciting to finally wrap one up.
A little bit of a different car and track combination here tonight. We're used to seeing these super late models on smaller, short tracks. Tonight, we brought it to the bigger oval of Phoenix Raceway. Much different type of race. These guys allowing to go a little bit faster with speeds with the super late models. The track was super racy all night long. Talk us through some of those different variables.
Yeah, one thing for me is that there's so many grooves, and I've actually had a couple of league races at this track before, so I had an idea of what to expect. But yeah, you might have seen early in the going there, I was making the top side work, and I really wanted to get up front quick and try to stay up there. But just everybody ran a great race, lots of clean side-by-side action, so we were able to get it done.
I know I was thinking for a second there on the green-white checker finish that John Fitzpatrick was going to use that outside line and steal this victory from you. What were you thinking there on that penultimate lap when that 78 car using the top side just would not go away and actually led you to the white?
Yeah, I was getting nervous for sure. I know the top side is where I've found a groove up there all night long, and once he got up there and kind of stayed, I was like, oh boy, we need to drive it in a little bit deep and be able to cut down to get a good drive off. But man, he can't say enough about these guys. We had a good clean race tonight, and just ready for the next one now. Now that we're locked into the showcase race, I'm excited for that.
Locked in, he absolutely is. Gets the win in the Tranquility Online 100 here for Tim's Corner Motorsports on Vidane TV. Brett, the opportunity is now yours. Anybody you'd like to thank, any shout-outs, any thank yous, go at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to first off thank everybody that tuned into my live stream on Facebook here. We had a lot of guys interacting, so that was great to see. Also, all my real life sponsors. We got the Custom Matco, A&A Landscape Supplies, Beaver Bail Bonds, Speed Energy Drink, and Brett Suggs Racing Marketing. And then lastly, you guys, you put on great broadcasts, and I love tuning in.
That is your winner here in the Tranquility Online 100 tonight, the Tim's Corner Motorsports Special Events Series going on, and it's Brett Suggs finally getting it done. He has won tonight's event in dominating fashion. It was a very fun feature to watch, and glad to get his thoughts on that win. Let's see here. Mike, have you caught up with one of our other finishers?
Yeah, I think John Fitzpatrick's in it. Johnny, you got me there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, John Fitzpatrick from Charlottetown, PEI, from the island, another Islander brother out there. What a run, John. Unbelievable. I thought you had it there at the end. Super proud of you not throwing the bumper, by the way, but what a great run. Congratulations. To take us through a bit about on strategy, I know you're coming into this big, a little bit of a faster track. What were your thoughts coming in on fuel and tires on your strategy? I know you went row 3 times.
So in one of the earlier TCM events, I ran out of fuel at Richmond, I believe. So ever since that race, I've been checking the fuel, and first thing I saw 45 laps remaining, and I'm like, oh Lord. So the first stop, I put a ton of fuel in just to cover me, and I added a little more on the second caution there. And then I just got lucky with a few cautions and ran my way through, and congrats to Brett. I wouldn't put the bumper to him. He's a good, clean racer, and like to throw out an apology to Ricky Arbo. I got into him last night, and I hate to do that. Ricky's a clean racer, so definitely apologize there.
Yeah, just shows your true character. Awesome run. The compared to Richmond though, what was it like in the grooves here tonight? Were you looking at a couple of different lines throughout the race?
Yeah. So in traffic, I was coming in a bit higher and then putting it lower, and then running by myself, I was going a bit lower. On the long green flag run, I burned my tires up and I was just slow, and like I said, I was lucky to get that caution there with Jarrett. So yeah, I was just slow and easy on the second run, but yeah, no, fun race overall. Like to throw
Go ahead.
Like to throw out a thanks to the pit members for fixing the car up last night. I got Paul Truin, got Adam O'Donnell, Tyler McLean. He had the microphone installed last time. Tried to get interviewed. He put it in backwards, so definitely kicked him to the back of the trailer.
Yeah, unfortunately for Jared Butcher, he had your experience tonight. He ran out of fuel, but I called that race in Richmond. That was an unbelievable night. I thought you had it there, but P2 at this big race, a lot of overs into positions here tonight. So big congratulations to you. Anybody out there, family members, sponsors, anybody you want to thank here tonight on this awesome run?
No, I'd just like to thank you guys for putting this on. Thank my wife for letting me do this. Like I said on the last one, there are 2 little kids at home, so it's not always easy to find the time to put the laps in, but I've been able to get to it a lot recently, so definitely appreciate that.
Well, congratulations. I know the kids are probably are they in bed, or are they behind you cheering you on?
Oh, they're in bed now, sir. and
Thanks
to Tim for putting this on. It's been an awesome series.
Should have just gave him some candy. But once again, congratulations, John Fitzpatrick from Charlottetown, PEI. What a run. Thought you almost had him, but great run. We'll see you at the next one.
Have a good evening, guys. Thanks.
Wow, Kyle, what a run from John Fitzpatrick.
It was a very good performance out of John. We now get the opportunity to talk to our third place finisher. With us now is the Ford machine of Barrett Bonner. Barrett, you had a pretty wild event yourself. Kind of quiet throughout the opening stages, threw a little bit of pit strategy in there during the second caution. Didn't work out into your favor, but you slowly worked your way back up to the front and come home with a P3 tonight.
Yeah, I could tell early on there that the top 7, 8 guys, I didn't have anything for them. So I figured if I just, followed them around for 80 laps, I was not going to be in the top 5. So I had to try and switch it up. And hopefully, I was kind of hoping for a caution there, but 20 laps earlier than we got one, but it almost worked out.
We saw during one of those late race incidents, had a car bounce off of the right side of your machine. You were able to keep it straight, kept on piling through, and avoided major catastrophe. Walk us through that.
Well, it was, the whole race, you're just trying to keep all the fenders on it. And that usually when there's a chance to go 3 wide, I think you saw I backed out a couple times there to get to the end. But that time there, you got to go for it and try and stick it low. I knew there were 3 wide there, but I was feeling pretty good about keeping it low, and I did feel the contact on the right rear and got the 4X, and I was just waiting to be pointing towards the grandstands, but I was able to keep it straight, I guess.
Did a great job of keeping that car straight. brings it home in position number 3, a 14th place start for you. Working through the field multiple different times. And as we've mentioned before, lots of different variables for you guys to work through tonight. These super late models running on a bigger track than normal, the racetrack super racy all throughout the feature. What was it like having to move around different lanes and having multiple options to do whatever you wanted to do?
Yeah, I don't have a ton of laps here, and I was learning pretty quick that low line was okay on fresh tires for 3 or 4 laps. Then after that, unless you're on the high side, it was just really hard to get a run on a guy. Um, but like I said, I had to try and switch something up different. And when I pitted there, I took the extra fuel early on, so I was a little heavier through the meat of the race there than some guys. So it didn't help me when I was sliding back. But I didn't want to repeat a Richmond where I ran out of fuel there with the lead, so I I put the fuel to her.
Alrighty, Barrett. We know you have some people that make things happen for the number 4 machine and deserve some of the credit for this 3rd place finish. Who are those people?
Well, I guess I have to admit the wife lets me do it. So other than that, these days we're kind of stuck at home anyway. So it's a fun thing to do, and we really appreciate you guys doing it. And thanks again to Tim for putting it on. It's a really fun time, and hopefully some people get some excitement watching us play.
If they didn't get any excitement, I don't know why they would ever be a part of the racing world, because tonight's event absolutely spectacular. Those are the words from the 3rd place finisher, the number 4 car of Barrett Bonner. I will now send things over to our race director, Tim Terry. He's been able to catch up with Jarrett Butcher, who we mentioned throughout the show had to race with some difficult variables in his personal life. Had a pretty strong showing here. Unfortunately, things kind of unraveled later on in the going. But Tim, have you made your way with Jarrett?
Yeah, first, Jarrett, I got to ask you, you ran out of fuel? Is that what happened at the end?
Yeah, the miscalculation in the fuel run ran out. Oh, well.
About a quarter of this race, though. Battle with your brother in the middle of the race as well. That had to be fun. Talk about that battle middle of the way.
Oh, yeah, me and him battle, I mean, virtual and real life. We had a real good car. I think we were a little bit better. I think we were better than him. We both ran good, and we ran up towards the front, and then obviously the miscalculation happened.
And Kyle kind of mentioned it, the fires that are out there in Porter's Lake. What's the situation out there, and what did you have to do to get in the virtual cockpit tonight?
Yeah, no, the fires they're at the exit I would take to go home, about probably less than a 10-minute drive from our house, and we were evacuated. So I went up to my buddy's house in Rawdon and hooked the whole system up, and the internet was horrible. We weren't going to be able to race tonight, and then we get it all figured out. And I just came in. I didn't even get to do 2 laps. I just came in when we were on the grid to do heat races, with 45 seconds left in the grid. I just got lucky there, and the internet was good.
A bunch of laps, came back from adversity. You fought back before with some of the real races that we're used to seeing on the Maritime Pro Stock Tour. Now we're going to fast forward a little bit. Maritime Pro Stock Tour is coming back with some sim racing coming up about 2 weeks or so from now, South Boston Speedway. Do you think you can get up on the wheel and beat those boys and pick up?
I think so. I mean, we got second last week, and I think we could have had a chance for a win or second place tonight. Circumstances happen, but I'm getting better at the sim racing. Spend a lot more time on it, and I think when we go back to South Boston, I think we'll be really good and chance to win.
Who do you got in this race car?
I'd like to thank Superior Foundation, Delaney Tiltload, Top Construction, Fossil Power Systems, Live and Dream Fisheries, Sammy Kaiser Automotive, Make a Wish. I want to thank Matt Turple, my crew chief, and Cold Stream Peach Tea for getting me through tonight. Maybe help. I don't know if that hurt my calculations or not, but it got me calmer. And yeah, that's about it.
Was that Matt's calculations or Coldstream's calculation?
I'm gonna say Cold. No, I'd say we'll blame Matt on this one.
So it's not 50-50.
Yeah, no, it's about 60-40.
Congratulations on the run tonight, and stay safe through everything that's going on here.
Thank you.
There you go, guys. Jarrett Butcher coming home, not with the finish that he wanted to, but man, he put on a show tonight. Looked like for a long while he was going to end up in victory.
Yeah, it was a huge battle up there in the front. I mean, there was so many front line stuff that was going on throughout this race. Connor had a great run at the beginning. Jared Butcher came on strong. Cole Butcher was there. All throughout this whole race, it was so exciting. It was edge of your seat. You almost want to just yell "Woo!"
Oh, for sure. We saw a lot of really, really good racing tonight. I don't really think that I expected the racing to be as good as what we saw. I know how racy that this Phoenix Raceway can become, but never really seeing super late models on it before, not really knowing what to expect, and my expectations were absolutely blown out of the water. Lots of green flag racing, so much passing, lots of opportunities for these guys to battle. The track was extremely racy. You could use the bottom, you could use the middle. There was a bit of a top side there to use as well. It just created a lot of really awesome stuff, and I hope that we get to come back here, hopefully not too far out into the future, because this venue very clearly can put on a lot of very exciting racing.
Yeah, super stoked. John Fitzpatrick talked earlier about Richmond running out of fuel. Pit road definitely a factor here today, so very exciting. Great to see all the fans throwing some comments there. Tim, really looking forward to possibly taking a little break here, but getting back in the saddle on some of these in the future.
Yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a break. Last night was a little bit rough. Tonight was phenomenal. Great show. I think everybody kind of took a breath from last night at North Wilkesboro. We're going to take a little bit of a break. I know Paul's going to probably pop up those upcoming events with the build coming out on June 2. Probably not going to do anything there. That's to be announced. Very, very floating date. We will be back on Vidane TV on June 5. That is the Tranquility online super late model race in South Boston. Mentioned it with Jarrett. We're coming back for 2 Maritime Pro Stock Tour races on Tuesday nights with Vidane, happening in the month of June. South Boston will be the kind of the appetizer round for what we're going to see with the Pro Stock Tour race. And then we're going to hit it hard. We've got 3 races at Oxford, the third to last week or the middle week in June. Then, as Brett mentioned, the All-Star Showcase is coming up as well. 19 drivers that are currently locked in. There was a good opportunity that we were going to see somebody punch their ticket into that race, and we saw it there with Mr. Brett Suggs going to victory lane. Congratulations to Brett. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Thanks for everybody for showing up this evening. Racing was phenomenal. New format worked fairly well. So I'm happy with the show. I think those fans that watched tonight are happy. Great racing action. Thanks to Mark and Joel once again at Tranquility for coming on board. Want to thank I'm gonna mention the unnamed official, Mike, because he was actually our first caution flag of the evening, rolling through replays and accidentally hit the wrong button. So I want to
I threw you under the bus.
Yeah, well, he sort of did a great job though tonight. So want to thank him, the race official that will remain unnamed. But thanks for everybody for coming. Thanks for Paul, Kyle, you for putting on a show. Get to take a break. Jared Butcher, I think, had the right idea. We might grab a couple of cold streams and sit back and relax and kind of unplug and recharge a little bit, and be back in a couple of weeks and hit the ground hard in June. Hopefully, the COVID-19 pandemic lets up a little bit in this area, and we can get back to some racing action coming up in the near future.
So what cold streams? Are you talking about wobbly pops?
That would be a wobbly pop made out of cold.
That's a new vocabulary word for me.
I think it's very clear that tonight we're learning very different ways to mention beer.
Yeah, well, Coldstream is a flavor or a distillery, I should say. Not wanting to give them an endorsement. No, it's not a cheap beer. It's rum and vodka and. They do a great job. If you're ever in Stewiacke, going up the 102, stop in there. If you've never had Coldstream before, you definitely have to do it.
Maybe they'll sponsor the next race, Tim.
We might have to get on them.
Said it enough times. We should get money. We should get paid.
Yeah, pretty good endorsement. We had a few of those on the Miramichi late nights up in the north of New Brunswick. Paul, are we ready to dust this off?
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna have to definitely take a look at that Coldstream deal. See if we can't maybe get them to sponsor a race or two. Hell, we'll even take payment in product. That's fine. We accept.
I'm starting a new beer company called Wobbly Pops.
So before we dust everything off here, go get some wobbly pops and some moose stew. Just want to take a quick look here at the upcoming events. Taking a little bit of break here ourselves at Verdane TV. We're off tomorrow night. No East Coast Winter League. And Monday, we're actually going to be rescheduling the Florida Pro Trucks scheduled broadcast race there. But Tuesday night, we're actually going to be rescheduling a lot of moving parts here at Verdane TV. New Smyrna World East Series is going to be Tuesday night at 8 o'clock because Wednesday night we've actually got the Maritime Racing League Linear 250. That's going to be at 8 o'clock. Thursday night, the New England Pennsylvania Shift IROC Series. Saw a phenomenal race with those guys last Thursday night at Daytona. They're running the super late models as you saw here tonight, but on bigger tracks. I believe they're at Talladega this week. And then next Sunday we get into the East Coast Winter League. The SK's at Stafford Motor Speedway. Monday's the Florida Pro Truck Series, and as Tim made mention earlier, June 2nd is kind of up in the air right now, but I can definitely guarantee you we'll have something going on here at Verdane TV. But for everybody here, Tim's Quarter Motorsports, for Verdane TV, for Mike, for Kyle in the booth, for Tim Terry in the race administrator seat there, we're going to dust everything off, pack everything up, and we're going to catch you on the flip side. Thanks so much for spending your evening here with us here at Verdane TV. Got a 3-day weekend down here in the States. The weather is supposed to be phenomenal. Get out there with the people you care about. Get out there with the people you love. And, they're starting to lift some of these restrictions just a little bit. So hopefully we can kind of hang out with people we haven't seen in a little bit. And as always, down here in the States for Memorial Day, remember all those who gave their lives here for our freedoms. But again, for Verdane TV, for Tim's Corner Motorsports, for Tranquility, thanks so much for coming out this evening. We will catch you on the flip side. And the next time you see us here at Verdane TV, we are going to be doing it live.
Living with anxiety or depression can make everyday situations and interactions seem impossible, and getting the right help can be expensive and inconvenient. We're changing that with Tranquility. Our program follows the highly effective gold standard, cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps people change negative thoughts and unhelpful behaviors by teaching them skills to practice in real life. Using Tranquility is convenient. You can move at your own pace from your phone or computer, and you don't have to do it alone. Your one-on-one coach is there to help keep you motivated and supported all the way through. If you're ready to unlock the tools you need to approach the day with confidence, visit tranquility.app to sign up for a free trial.